You could race Can-Am, you could race Polaris, you could race anything?
Yeah, anything. We tech the cars.
Cool.
So they have to fit within a certain. We make sure that everything's somewhat stock.
Cool.
We don't. You want to bring a full race car. Obviously, you automatically go into the pro class, whatever.
Cool. Yeah.
But we kind of leave it open.
Nice.
It's kind of we want to run what you brung type thing.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Lambo and Leroy Show. We have been MIA for a couple of weeks because of the holidays. We apologize. It's just been crazy.
Well, I mean, we had SEMA.
Yep.
SEMA kicked our butts. The holidays.
That's
pretty much it. Pretty much we were also lazy too. And we got day jobs and shit was taking up too much damn time.
There's that.
But we're back. So we're gonna kick things off. Sean, who we got today?
Well, I mean, we've been discussing this, him and I for a long time to get him on this show. I mean, it took a lot of work and a lot of time. I mean, like tons of planning was involved to get him here in this studio. And, Brian, he's known with Long Travel Industries, but he's got a side gig like all of us, like this side gig. And his side gig's pretty rad and it's really relevant for today's topic.
Yeah.
And you've taken on a position with Red Bull, and there's the RedBull Sand Scramble this weekend in Glamis, California. For these that don't know, it's a huge sand dune area, and it's very, very difficult to sanction anything in Glamis.
Yeah.
And they've marked off a huge area, and they're actually having a track there, and that they put that on you and said, here, go for it, right?
No, not really. I mean, I don't work for USAC. I work for USAC, which we're the sanctioning body.
Oh, okay.
So we do all their insurance and all their stuff and everything and sanction all their stuff. We do all their tech. We do timing scoring. We do everything. So Red Bull has come out to us a bunch of times to USAC. There's a bunch of stuff. And so they come up with these cockamamie ideas. If you guys remember Frozen Rush.
Yeah, it was so rad.
Yeah, it's bitchin' thing ever, whatever like that. Same thing. We ran all the timing scoring. We were everything on that. So
awesome.
Somebody within Red Bull came up with this scramble idea, like different, genres of stuff, whatever, snow, ice, sand, all these things.
Yeah.
And so it was, and Glamis was the number one way to do it. It was like, all right, cool. So they fought tooth and nail and just worked with the BLM, worked with everybody to make it happen. And it was a lot of work. It was crazy on what it was. And last year it went off without a hitch, and so they invite us back next year or this year, whatever.
Nice.
And we're adding a lot more disciplines. We're going to do some crazy next year. There's going to be 8 scrambles total, and it's
wow. Throughout the year or all one weekend?
No, throughout the year.
Wow,
so
that's
we're
awesome.
doing everything, and I can't say too much on them yet, but we're definitely. So right now, as it stands, we started out with Mountain Scramble, and then we go to Stone Scramble, which is in Tennessee, and then we do High Desert Scramble, which we did in Utah. Now we got Sand Scramble, and then we do Ice and Snow.
Nice.
So,
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean,
so
what is left? Like
that's it.
No, there's more.
There's more. Damn.
There's more.
So then, speaking of USAC, we've got this guy over here. He's not here just for looks, right?
Right. Nope. Yeah. So he works with USAC. So same thing. He actually has a couple different gigs too, whatever, and this happens to be one of them. So he basically
doesn't stop.
Yeah, exactly. It's just Yeah.
So for those that don't know, give us a quick intro as to what USAC is.
So USAC is a sanctioning body. So different racing genres or whatever basically hires USAC to do different, and we get hired for different things for different places that we do. And it's a lot more than that. So if Jason was here, whatever, he'd explain everything. I mean, it's crazy. We deal with OEMs and stuff. Mm-hmm. We own like ARA Rally. We own that. We own.
Oh wow.
We own.
So you guys also own series.
Yeah. Like Torque back in the day. Torque, right?
Yeah, you guys own Torque. Yeah.
So when Ricky when Ricky Johnson owned it and he wanted to get out of it, whatever, we didn't want the series to go away. So USAC acquired it and ran it as they owned it and were the sanctioning body, and then sold it off to. Whoever the next.
Bought
it
it.
Was.
I can't remember the company that bought it.
I know, and it's gonna go by me, but Mountain. I don't know, MSI, but Mountain Sports Incorporated.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. They bought it, whatever, and then
just for sure.
Exactly.
No, it was definitely them.
Yeah, it's Mountain Sports.
Yeah.
So they took it over, and then obviously then they went away, whatever, and Lucas took it over a little bit, whatever, and now
it's
Champ.
Champ Off-Road.
Exactly, Champ. But we're still the sanctioning body for that.
Cool.
So, and snow, there's a ton of stuff we do with snowmobiles and stuff and everything. I mean, it's crazy. People think of USAC as just roundy rounds.
Yeah.
So, but it's like we kind of have our hands like everything. And so
everything.
In 2017, anything side-by-side stuff. They hired me basically to run anything that we do that's side-by-side stuff. So that's what it is. And then he was racing at the time. He was racing back at when it was Torque.
Oh, nice.
And that kind of...
Yeah. What class did you race?
Pro mod.
Nice. That's awesome. And so knowing all the information from there, you jumped in with USAC and started working with them on everything, or just like side-by-side stuff?
Well, I started racing side-by-sides in 2008, so I kind of had dabbled in side-by-sides most of my off-road career.
Yeah, and then since side-by-side's been around, right?
Yeah.
2008.
Well, no, they started
They were
before
rhinos
that.
then.
That's when we started getting serious.
Yeah, that's what... Easy. We were racing them in 05, man. It was serious.
It wasn't just nerds and rhinos anymore. You know,
Yeah,
they were actually
exactly.
legitimate stuff.
Yeah.
After 17, I kind of was over it, so I walked away from it. And then Brian hit me up and wanted, help with tech and somebody that knew the cars inside and out. So I came on board with that. And it was actually funny because at the same time, Jeremy Meyer from American Rally Association brought me in for ARA stuff. So
nice.
I got brought into USAC on 2 different sanctioning bodies.
That's cool.
And then ended up just doing it full time now.
Nice, man. That's really
That
awesome.
is awesome. So what was the last race you guys did?
We did, for scrambles,
Yeah, for Scramble.
Stone Scramble in Tennessee.
Okay, so what was the Stone Scramble about?
So Stone Scramble, so basically it's funny because it's...
Like King of the Hammers type of stuff?
No, it's not. Whatever. So there's... and I'm going to mess this up, whatever. What's the name of the parks? Because I never do the park, whatever. That's Brimstone. So Brimstone's a park, and it's crazy. So like here, we go to Glamis, we just go bombing everywhere. So so as you get more to the west, obviously we have more public lands. Everything in the East Coast and the Midwest and the South is all owned property.
Yeah.
So it's all logging roads and stuff and everything. And so this Brimstone company basically leases property from a logging company, and they have a park. And they have a trail system that goes through. And you go in and you got to buy a wristband. You got to do whatever, how many days you're going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a water park damn near. You know what I mean? It's like you could, so we go to Brimstone, and they have some trails that have a lot of rocks. And they have a lot of stuff that's mud, and they have all kinds of things. And so that's kind of where that started. And what Red Bull does, and they've always been good at it, is they do events on top of other events. Like sand is the only one. Well, we started it with, like, the Anderson stuff with their Rage Day, Rage Weekend, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started. Like, because we wanted to do it with Camp Razor, and that just was never going to work.
Yeah.
It's too much
So
going
way
on.
too much going on, everything, whatever.
Can't
So
shut things down.
yeah, exactly. And so it was like, all right, we're going to do this, and we kind of picked weekends. And so like, there's a music festival or something at Brimstone that weekend.
Oh, wow.
So it's packed and everything. So everybody comes already, and so we put this race on at the same time, and it's
So
the people are there already. Put
yeah,
the
exactly.
race,
Yeah, and you don't have to market it as crazy. You're not spending because everybody's already
Saving
coming
money
for
on
something
marketing,
else.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah, Red Bull's pretty good that way, whatever. So yeah, it was the music festival or some things, whatever. So they had concerts going on every night, and we did our race, and it was pretty epic actually. That was
Wow. Now, so this weekend, if people are going to be out there or they want to come out there and see it, like, what can they expect?
a lot of. Actually, it's pretty awesome.
Is it?
Yeah, because there's a ton of spectating. So it's about a 5-6 mile course. It's on, Osborne Lookout.
Yeah.
So it
Which is like
basically
one of the
starts
highest points in Glamis.
It's right off the highway.
right off the highway.
Yeah.
We start at Comp Hill.
Okay.
So we start out down to the, if
Rad.
been there long enough, whatever, everybody remembers Comp.
Yeah.
It's not like anybody knows anymore. But yeah, we start in Comp and we work up to Osborne and back around. And it's, like I said, about a 6 mile loop. And we have spectating all the way around. So
Where's
we
the
have
best place to spectate for the spectators that are going out there?
God, probably like Sunset Hill, somewhere
Oh,
off of that
really?
side. Yeah, because we go up on that side. That way you're up above a lot of stuff.
You can see down.
Or all the hills and stuff above Comp, on the backside of Comp.
What about if you're down in Comp? Do you get to see a lot of them coming back
You
down
get to
and
come
around?
down and around. That's the start line, so that's
Yeah.
fun too. And again, as long as you stay on the outside of the course, you can move around. And most people that are going to spectate are going to be side by side.
Yeah.
So, and we have like 100 volunteers.
Really?
So, and everybody's on radios and stuff, and so we basically keep everybody out of the race line.
Yeah.
And then just let you kind of mob around,
Is it
whatever.
all
So-
roped off, or you just have like kind of cones
No, it's
everywhere?
not. So you guys all seen the air races, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the pylons are what we use.
Nice, to blow up pylons?
Yeah, so we
That
blow
is
up the pylons.
awesome.
And so basically you race pylon to pylon to pylon.
Right.
So we don't
whether
let
it's
anybody.
a left or a right. Aren't
Yeah.
there different colors for that?
Nope. We
Okay.
put an arrow. We put an arrow on.
Oh.
With all the pylons are the same. But we just put arrows, and we don't tell you. We don't put the pylons up until Thursday. Well, even Friday midday, Friday
Yeah.
night. So everybody can go out and do what they want, but nobody knows the course
Cool.
until the night before or the
Nice.
morning of. I do one sight lap, and then it's race on. So and
That's
then nobody
so-
knows.
that's so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's lots of fun.
Is it going to be the same track as last year?
We'll change it up a little bit.
Okay,
Well,
but-
because the dunes change.
True.
100%.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked
Yeah.
about it last
Different.
weekend that, what happens and what changes. And so like I said, everybody got up there on Saturday, started kicking everybody out of Osborne. So we have because we got, there's a lot of stuff that goes on to make this happen.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So there's a lot of rigs there carrying everything in.
Yep,
all the pylons,
exactly.
all the
People,
cones,
staff,
people, yeah.
food. It's crazy. Yeah, so they hire an activation company, whatever. It's called States and Kingdom.
Cool.
So Red Bull uses just like 6-speed. Razor uses 6-speed, whatever. Same thing. States and Kingdom are really good guys, whatever like that, and they know what's going on. So we've got and then safety. We've got it's crazy what we just labeled 100 handheld radios, whatever today,
my
whatever.
gosh.
So yeah, we've got we've got radios and I've got everything set
That's
up.
awesome. So now, people that are listening to this are probably going to be hearing this Thursday and the Friday before.
Yep.
At that point in time, is there still probably room for someone to show up? Can you show up out there and sign up and race if you want?
Yeah,
No.
different classes.
No, we do 2 classes, Sportsman and Pro class.
Okay.
We opened registration 2 months ago ish.
Yeah.
And we have to cap a certain amount
For sure.
And I think it's 125, and we have quite a few on reserve if those 125
People
don't
drop
show up.
out.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, so there'll be a handful. There's usually guys that just can't make it last minute, whatever, anything. And we we reserve, I think, 7, 8, 10 spots for people that special people that want to show up and come
Yeah.
out. So
are there? You could race Can-Am, you could race Polaris, you could race anything.
Yeah, anything. We tech the cars.
Cool.
So they have to fit within a certain. We make sure
Yeah.
that everything's somewhat stock.
Cool.
We don't. You want to bring a full race car. Obviously, you automatically go into the pro class, whatever.
Yeah.
But we kind of leave it open.
Nice.
It's kind of we want to run what you brung type thing. Whatever.
That's
we
awesome.
don't want to.
It's a grudge
Just a
race.
cage,
Yeah, exactly.
Cage,
exactly.
Cage, window nets,
Yep.
harnesses, all that good
Like
stuff.
you
go.
want to bring your desert car out there, bring it.
Yep.
It might be heavy. You want to have a real lightweight sand car, make sure that it's safe.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yep, exactly.
That's insane. I heard Pro Rs are not allowed.
Nope. Pro Rs automatically in the pro class.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
But then
Yeah.
they automatically have to have an aftermarket cage
Yes. Yeah.
that
Aftermarket.
makes
So Pro
sense,
R.
yeah.
Yeah. So what? To kind of break up the cars up, because again, we want everybody to have. We want everybody to race. We want people to show up and do stuff. So to make the pro class and the sportsman class different, so a pro class, aftermarket cage, real head and neck restraints,
Yeah.
driving suit, couple of little things safety wise.
Cool.
And that's the pro class, and then you got sportsman class, which is basically stock cage. Show up in your coveralls. I don't care.
So now in the pro class, are you going to see just pro cars like turbos or some pro Rs? Like what's the variety of cars you're going to see in that top pro class?
Everything.
Yeah.
They'll all have cages obviously on them, whatever like that, but it's crazy. Like you'll have, who just bought Perfect View.
Yeah.
Like you've got a
RS
Lucas one. Well, you've got a
Yeah.
Lucas Oil short course car.
Yeah.
Right? That's set up full short course that you're gonna bring out, whatever.
Yeah.
Against a guy that's gonna have a stock Pro R with a roll cage on it.
Yeah.
Stock doors and a window net.
Well, and it is true. I mean, the dunes are really the ultimate equalizer.
Correct.
They are
Because
it is driving.
Yeah.
There's
And-
there's points where because it's funny, you guys, you made sure everyone had a brake light, right?
Yes.
And I understand why, but if you're really trying to gauge the hill and how fast you should go off of it by the
Right.
person's brake light in front
Right.
of you,
Yeah.
it might not be this race for you. Right?
Correct. And it's not for a lot of them. That's what makes this race really epic. I mean, it's they're judging off of somebody that's going to break.
Yeah.
And when you have, James Hill and Mitch Guthrie and all these guys, whatever, they're not breaking coming off top of the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
They're
you
sending
happen
it.
to get behind them, whatever, they're just going to let it go. And you're not ready to let it go. And it's,
It's gonna be bad.
It makes it, it gets ugly fast.
How does it work? Hey, you're going off. Do you do different class or do you different races like top 10 move on or how does it work?
We'll break it into just like a motocross.
Cool.
Basically we'll have heats.
Yep.
We'll take heat races.
Yeah.
And heat, semi, final, and then we do that for sportsman and pro.
Yeah.
And then sportsman and pro will race one final together.
Nice.
We'll score them separately.
Okay. So how do you determine the heats or break everybody up? Is it just like a roll
It's
of
a roll.
dice?
It's a roll of dice. It's how you're going to pull your numbers. It's just
Really?
random numbers. Yep.
That is awesome.
So
Yeah.
if you're racing against James and Mitchie and
Yep.
everyone, that's gonna suck for you, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But if you're in the pro, they're already in
it
the
is
pro
what it
class.
is.
But if they're the pros,
you're-
you're in the pro class.
Yeah. You go
So
for
then,
it.
but if you're
And
a
we do-
sportsman and you're racing with them, now you're racing with a fast group, and you can learn from them
Correct.
too.
Exactly.
That's true. Yeah, both
Yep.
ways.
Yep. Yeah.
So you follow them, follow the tracks. I mean, see
Yep.
where they're going.
Or you end up on your lid and
Or
you
either
don't.
way, yeah.
yeah.
At least it's sand.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. And the biggest thing we zero paddles.
Oh no!
Now, why
paddles.
Yeah,
was
no
that? Why
paddles.
did you guys decide that?
So
that's fair.
it makes it drivers. It makes it a driving class.
Yeah.
So it's hard enough to to try to tech these things with all, like when we do Champ or Torque or Lucas Gas, whatever, we have an array of tools to check all these cars, ride heights and things and whatever. Well, it's just too hard to do that in some of these one-day races.
Yeah.
So we needed to try to how to equalize it somehow. Well, a guy shows up and he's got pistons and cam in his car. I'm not tearing his motor down doing whatever.
In the sand.
In the sand and everything, yeah.
It's probably going to be windy, too.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be windy. It doesn't make any sense. Cool. So, well, you know what? I don't care that you got a 300 horsepower car because you have no paddles and it's not going to benefit you.
You're right.
So it's like it's the great equalizer.
Yeah.
Driving and, and if you can drive out in the dunes with no paddles, you're awesome. And, I mean, you put paddles on anything and it, like, makes someone a driver almost.
You sure feel like you're in a race car when you do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
If everything gets light, you drive it off the rear. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Right.
That is really cool. And so is there anything going on Friday night for spectators?
No, not really.
No? Okay.
Nope.
So you have tech down by the store?
We got tech down by the store. Actually, I think we'll do tech up at Osborne, but we'll register everything down at the store. And then you'll bring the cars up to Osborne. We'll do a little loop around, whatever like that. And we'll tech all the cars and stuff up there. And then you go back and figure out wherever camp is or whatever you got going on.
So if tech's up there, people are bringing race cars, can we trailer to Osborne and dump a trailer in the sand?
Dump trailer off the sand or whatever, or do that, or just run them up Sand Highway.
Okay.
So you can drive them up,
Nice.
tow them up, do them what you want to do.
So for like myself, we're showing up. I'm glad you're here because I have a lot of questions.
This has nothing to do with any of it. I just need to get all my stuff answered now.
That's why you're here.
Do you have a tech sticker, by the way, too?
Exactly.
Are you racing it?
My son is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's got a RS1. You probably know Miles Cheek in them, right?
Yeah,
Chuck Cheek.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, so we have one of their old Lucas Oil cars, and we've kind of been racing Works and some other series and stuff with it, and so we're going to take it out because that's really all we got right now. And plus, I feel like it could do really good. I mean, I was surprised. We were out for Thanksgiving and I let him bring it up to the dunes for the first time. No paddles, too big of a tire on it, too, probably, and it's motoed pretty damn good. I'm in my sand car, my yellow sand car. We're ripping hard, and he's still
right there.
I'm like, okay, like, all right, we could probably do this.
Yeah.
But
So you race Works with that car?
we did. So it's got two setups. So it's got 2 sets of shocks, separate engines. But
So that's my question. Which setup are you going to run?
we're gonna run probably more of a Work setup.
You're going to try the Works setup?
Yeah.
Yes, only because there's going to be times when you're going to have big balls and send it off the top of something. You're going to want that suspension to kind of just be there when it lands. You're going to want some of the ground clearance. Like, you're going to want all of that. Plus, too, like, the ruts are going to get big.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's going to be huge ruts.
It's gonna get nasty.
That's a huge equalizer to horsepower right there, those damn ruts.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, those can
Every
do
pylon, everybody wants the inside corner. Everybody wants to get as close as they can to the pylon.
Yeah,
So.
but that's an
That creates a bomb hole.
Exactly.
It does, and sometimes it's probably towards the end. It's not the fastest running it around. Just
Run
carry
the outside.
momentum around the outside, guys. Don't do it because it's probably slower. But stick to the inside.
and you got to realize these pylons some of them are half a mile apart.
Damn.
And so you can get there however you want to get there.
Really?
No way.
Yeah, so it's just point to point.
That is awesome.
So you come around a pylon, like sometimes you don't even know where we'll say 6 and 7 just for random. You can't see 7 as you're coming up to 6. So by the time you get around 6, all of a sudden now you see 7. Well, it's however you want to get there. And there's the bowl. And
There's no VPCs or anything.
No,
just go
there's
for
no.
it.
You
Nice.
do whichever. Some guys are going this way in a bowl. Some guys are going on this way in the bowl. And they are going to connect.
That's
at some
rad,
point.
though.
So it was literally you. Would you say that the winner? Who was the winner last year?
Mitchie ended up winning it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you say he won because of the lines that he took?
Yes, 100%.
100%.
100%. Because the first lines, somebody else. Well, I'll say James. Whatever. James definitely had the lines early on. Mitchie figured those out and then kind of got him with a couple other ones and ended up. But yeah, there was a couple guys that were really fast with lines, but the cars didn't last.
Okay.
So they had big horsepower cars, whatever like that. They were checked out,
cards,
had the lines,
blown
and
cars.
Yep, and then done.
Damn.
So
How awesome! I'm jealous now. My son racing this.
You
Chance.
better do good.
Hey, I just got off the phone with somebody that's really bummed that he's not making it. They were supposed to make it, whatever, and he didn't make. He's not going to make it.
Oh,
so
man.
So he's bumming big time about it.
Who's
so.
some big names coming out that you can say?
God, I haven't even looked at the entry list. I've been so busy running around.
Yeah.
So
Anything else?
I can tell you who's not going to come because he just said it today, whatever. So Robbie was going to bring out some new cars.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yep, and he ain't making it.
Could you imagine right now?
So-
That'd been awesome if he came out.
He was trying. He's got
I
a
don't
car
know
there.
to see him do well.
So
Or at least get out there.
Yep. And I told him,
mean-
it's the whole thing, Max is like dying. So, but he made a deal with Max and said that, you're not going to be able to make it, unless you Max wants to race Parker and everything, so Max has to prep his car and get ready and everything for Parker. So if you don't get your car ready for Parker, you can't race this. So
all right.
And then Robbie's got some other stuff going on that.
And we all forget Robbie is also a dad too, and you sometimes gotta do some dad shit. And
Every once in a while, yeah, you know that, yeah, like steal your kid's car and race it and tell him to park it.
Exactly, because he didn't prep it.
Sorry, Chance. You gotta stay home, dude. We're taking the car out the hell.
Sorry, it's Dad's race tonight. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do Friday night. We're gonna do a Dad's race Friday night.
You should,
right? On LT80s.
Yeah. Oh no. We're gonna take all the kids' cars. Whatever they end up with at the next day. Sorry,
we don't know.
Yeah, the car's still running. Cool.
Exactly.
Then you can race it.
Yeah.
That's the equalizer right there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Are there sponsors? Who's sponsoring it? Anybody going to be there? With a booth set up or exhibiting or anything?
I know KMC partners with us.
Okay.
So we have KMC Wheels that's out there with it for sure. Obviously.
So basically, check the website for the sponsors.
Yes,
There's
exactly.
a decent little list right there.
Yep, there is for sure. I know that, and different ones. I know we had a boot sponsor, whatever, at Ice or something, whatever. Wolverine.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Wait, so do
Wolverine
you even
Wolverine.
know the prizes?
That was
Huh?
Do you know the prizes?
They're different every time.
Do you know what they are this year?
No, I
Shall
know
we
they
read it off?
Yeah, read it
yeah.
off.
Damn it! I gotta
Is there
go
a purse?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Yes.
$5,000 in the pro race.
Yep.
Nice. How much does it enter?
$150.
Oh, dude,
it was
that's awesome.
175, I think, for the pro. I think.
Yeah, it's
I think
it's
it was
50 bucks.
maybe 100 for
Sportsman.
Yeah.
Yeah, 175.
Because it's kind of a fun race, right? It's not really like a.
That's exactly what, and we're trying to get everybody to come out, and that's
so
the whole
rad.
idea. Yeah.
Well, I think that is awesome. Okay, so registration's closed. We established that. We established where it's at. We established the race format. Racing starts at. Do you know what time it starts at?
So we take a yeah, I want to read it. Yeah.
Oh, look at this guy right now.
I'm the tech guy, man. I don't. So
It's a Friday, December 9th.
Oh yeah, exactly. With everything like that, we are going to start at 8. Oh, so 7:45 to 8 o'clock.
7:45 heat 1.
Yep.
And then heat 2 is 8:30.
8:30 to 9.
3 laps each.
Yep, exactly. And then we'll go into the heat 3 and 4, which are basically 9:15 to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And then there's a
10.
significant break between 11:30 to 1:30, which for 2 hours, which is actually pretty rad. Give
lunch
everybody time to
break.
work on things,
Yeah,
get
prep.
some lunch.
Well, not only that, but because the sun's straight up,
Oh, you can't see
you can't see any of the
anything.
dunes.
You're
You
right.
got
Smart.
you have.
You know, and I didn't even think about that too, because the finals at 3 to 4:30, completely different dunes you're driving in than
Correct.
you were in the morning.
Yes,
That's true.
And then we
Different
just and the
shadows.
shadows and stuff. So when it's right, because we went out and drove a bunch, and it's crazy. Right at noon, you don't see any shadows at all. Whatever, you can't read the dunes, you can't do stuff.
That's
So
crazy.
So
It
yeah,
is
we put a little
difficult
bar.
during noon.
We do a little lunch thing, do stuff. Mario, obviously with the rig and stuff like that. We have a little food for everybody and
Nice.
All that's now. Can spectators during the event go to Osborne? Is there anything for them to
Yes.
check out and see? Is that where sponsors are going to be?
I know there's a couple little booths and stuff and everything, but we'll have spectators up there at the top, which is a
Okay.
good place. That's the finish. So we start down below and we finish up top.
Okay.
So
Nice.
it's not the same start, whatever like that. So we have good photo finish, thing, whatever it looks cool for TV. And
That's
So
rad.
if I'm gonna be there watching my son, obviously we're gonna probably have a pit or something, or some shit in the truck or something.
Right.
Where should I park that thing? Where would someone go?
right off Osborne, probably. We're not going
Just
to park
like
it up on Osborne, whatever, because we'll tow it. But yes,
We're gonna tie it.
because it's so tight
That
up there.
truck that says
It
Gibson
is.
on the
Yes.
side, yeah, tow that thing. Get
Yeah,
that-
exactly. Gibson on it. Out. Yeah.
Actually, bury it.
Flatten the tires too while you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
Cut the cat out of it at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the partners are I'll let
Yeah,
you speak 'em.
BFG, KMC, and we got Razor, Wolverine, Stater Brothers, Amsoil.
Stater Brothers.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Terribles.
Terribles.
Wow.
Solid.
Terribles. I was
Stepped
surprised
up.
to see Terribles too.
Yeah,
That's
step it
cool.
up.
Troy jumps in.
And then so prizing.
Thanks, guys.
What are the prizes? This is what got us hooked. We're all shooting for the big money,
big
big
money.
money.
That 5K.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm
Yeah,
just shooting
money.
for some good service. Okay. So we got the sportsman class, pro class. There's a whole bunch of rules and stuff, guys. It's Sand Scramble. It's on Red Bull, but you literally just go into Google, type in RedBull Sand Scramble 2022, and it pops right up.
Nice.
And there's a link to it. So
Nice. So you don't even want to laugh. It's crazy what it's taken to get those two 13, 14-page rules.
yeah.
It's taken a year for us to figure that out. Whatever. It's
Who
insane.
approves that? USAC?
Me.
Or you?
Those are my rules. That stuff. We talk them through things, whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, those are basically my rules. That's what they hired me to do.
Dude, that's got to be hard
Sorry.
because
You have
there's
no
so
idea.
much safety
Yes.
But as well as like you don't want to be a dick and you want to make sure that people are able to come race and not
Exactly.
have to build a full race car.
Correct.
But
Yep.
if I'm reading this
But
correctly,
safety.
if you have a 4-seat Pro R, you can't race.
Pro R. No, you can run it. We've established it. No, I know the way it's written. But if you have I wouldn't think anybody wastes a 4-seat Pro R.
I know, but-
Wouldn't think anybody would. Literally second phone call. Hey, I've got a 4-seat Pro R. I'm
It
like,
was probably my buddy.
yeah, and I'm like, come on. I'm like, Pro Class. Just put it in Pro Class. So anything that's a Pro R, whether 2-seat or 4-seat,
Whatever, okay.
you're going to the Pro
So
Class.
Pro Class, first place, $5,000 Polaris voucher.
Cool.
Yep.
That's pretty significant.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you have
Wait,
a
what's the
Polaris,
Polaris?
Unless you have a Can-Am.
So you can use it. So you can use it to
Still
Can-Am parts, accessories, or a car.
Sweet. Nice.
So
that's pretty cool.
yeah. And there should be more to that. Is there not more?
No, it just says BF Goodrich tire voucher.
Thank you. Yep. I was going to say.
Says
KC
more.
wheel set.
Yep.
Sweet.
Oh, so that's first, second, third. right?
Yes. Okay.
So now the Sportsman,
Yep.
you get the BFG Goodrich tires voucher.
Yep.
Cool.
And second place, KMC wheels.
Yep.
And third place, Wolverine boots, $500 gift certificate.
Good
Solid.
Nice. There
Nice
you go.
boots right there.
One
Yep.
pair boot.
That's one boot. That's one boot. You got to pony up for the other boot.
Left or right? Left or right?
Yeah.
Your choice.
Really stepped into that one.
I see what you did there.
Wow.
So awesome. For people that aren't going to be there, is there a way to watch it that you're aware of?
Yeah, you're live streaming it?
I don't know. That's.
Yeah.
I should have maybe prepared myself before this, but all the planning and timing that we went into all this.
Yeah, no.
So if
Again,
somebody
I get it.
has
I'm-
questions, we just give me your cell phone number.
Oh, 100%. I got a better number. It's called Jason Smith, and here, let me get it. So it's 317.
Definitely give Jason's. No, it's exciting, man. It's such a cool event, and Red Bull always goes above and beyond everything they do.
Everything they do.
It's insane.
Yeah, it is crazy.
How do you even think of this?
Yeah,
That's what's crazy.
Yeah, they brought it to us. So, and like I said, next year we're planning on doing 8 total events. So
So you guys already do an ice one right now?
yeah, we do ice and snow. So like I
So
said,
is it kind of like Frozen Rush?
no. We do it on. It's in Iowa.
Okoboji, Iowa.
Yeah, say
You
that
know
name.
what? I
10
think I
times.
saw Mitchie post on about that.
No, that was
That
snow.
was Snow Scramble.
Okay, he did.
He
Snow
did not
Scramble,
make
okay.
ice. So ice was
Andrew Carlson.
negative 17.
No.
Wait, negative 17?
Oh,
No, ice was actually very nice because it was positive 25.
that's still freezing.
So we were standing.
Yeah.
It was so nice, you
I'm
guys.
beautiful. I'm sitting looking at the weather going, man, it's going to be a little cold
So he's
out
from
of Glamis. It's
so
gonna be like
he's so he's
68.
from Minnesota. So this so I had him do ice because I got stuck being up on top of the hill doing another race that we don't speak of. But I had to go do snow, and literally snow was 17 degrees,
That was cold.
and it was cold, and we had Mario's tent all plugged in. And we had
Yeah.
like 4 space heaters going, and it raised it like 3 degrees, and it was crazy. Everyone's
Nice.
going, oh, this is so nice and so beautiful.
T-shirt weather.
Literally had local guys
That's
show up
insane.
wearing sweats and hoodies. And it was 17 degrees out. And they're like, oh,
In
man, you should have
Minnesota?
been here.
No, that was Michigan.
Michigan. It's
Oh,
even
no,
different.
You're over there like
totally different. It's all cold. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're over there
It's
like
not
in a survival
California.
suit, right? Like,
Our registration girl, whatever, she's like, why is he so miserable? And I'm like, it's 17 degrees outside.
Yeah.
I own shorts and a hoodie. That's
exactly.
it. I don't own anything.
Sandal
that's cold.
life right
Yes.
there. I live in California, you guys.
Yes. She's from California too, which is crazy to me.
My warm
California.
shoes are maybe a set of Uggs.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, once it's below 30 degrees for me, I'm good. Or below like 50 degrees, I'm like, oh, that's cold, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Last night was like 44 here. I'm like, oh, I don't like it.
No, yeah. Like what happened too?
I'm going to leave the truck running all night so the heater's
Exactly, dude. It stays warm in the morning.
Oh
man.
no, remote
Can't
start
have
that thing
Jell-O.
at about 5, get about hours worth of.
Yeah, exactly. 7 o'clock stays
Yep.
warm for
Yep.
me.
There's probably a lot of things going on with that type of racing that we don't have to address or experience here. I mean,
He's been on the phone nonstop with me and my buddies. My buddy used to run a ice tire manufacturing company.
Yep. Okay.
So we've been trying to figure out like studding concepts and
Yes.
whatnot, and
That's crazy.
blowing people away with the way we, like
Yeah, how many studs do you put on a car? And
then
then you got to
you
worry about studs. Like when they go flying off, what do they do?
you
Yeah.
can put
'Cause
too
they're
many.
dangerous.
You
True,
don't want
yeah,
them in
they're
a line.
dangerous.
You
Yeah.
want them staggered. There's a ton of different variables for studding,
and then how big, what they
Yep.
are,
Yep.
and then what tire you even start with because of the weight and where you're going to stick it.
Do you guys supply the tires then for everyone? Or everyone has their own?
Everybody runs their own tires.
So if you go to
because they
Iowa-
live there, they should
Well,
already have
they
most of
already
that
know,
stuff.
yeah,
for
I
you.
guess so.
What do you do when there's 9 months of winter? You race something on the
yeah,
ice. So
true.
there's
Yeah.
cars, and then we've been
Yeah.
racing cars on the ice forever. And
Well, the Greens
things
do
like
that too, right? Johnny Greaves and
Yep,
and
they
CJ
run the
race?
Iceman 500, Iceman 200, Iceman 500, whatever. So they run a big oval, basically.
Yeah.
That,
Johnny-
It's probably
insane.
fun.
Johnny announced this year that he's coming out to the ice scramble.
Nice.
Yep.
That's
So
cool.
He'll be out at ice
Well,
scramble.
because they're Polaris now too. They're not
Yep,
Yamaha anymore.
exactly. Yep.
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy, too.
I know. I can't believe they made the switch. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's good for him.
I mean, Yamaha's still the same Yamaha it was.
I know.
Since
They
the
haven't changed
15.
anything. I know.
I mean, it's a bitchin' car for
No,
what
it is. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And as in a Midwest short course car,
Yeah.
it's still
That's true.
It's still dominant.
Yeah, Brock
Yeah.
Hager's still killing
Yeah.
everything.
Oh no,
it's
it's
cool.
definitely it's a fast car.
The
It
Can-Ams are
works.
fast too, though, man.
Yep.
I feel like actually Midwest racing, the Polaris has fell behind quite a bit.
Yeah,
They fell behind
yep.
quite a bit, and
Yep.
then the Yamahas and the Can-Ams were just dominating for a while.
Yep. And then they've kind of stepped up their game.
And they
a
still
little.
have game, and now they're starting to equal out. But
And it seems to also be, it's the teams that get a hold of whatever cars,
Yeah.
getting the knowledge and the test time and everything into them.
Yeah.
You throw somebody in a brand new car, it's going to take them a while. Just like Greaves, it's
True.
like CJ just didn't kill it right out of the box in the Polaris.
No,
you
he
know?
didn't. It took him a
so
while.
it's going to take him a while,
Yeah.
whatever. And so next year, obviously, he's got a lot more seat time, a lot more stuff, and they'll start figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
From a tech standpoint, what are some major no-nos that you look at? Because obviously people can sit there and have everything on your 14-point checklist.
Yep.
But like you're gonna look at other stuff that you would think would be
cheater,
basic information.
cheater.
Yeah.
Not even just cheater. Like your front A arm is massively loose and the holes are egged out.
Oh,
you
so
can't
just
drive
like-
this fucking
yeah.
thing.
Almost
Safe-
clapped out.
Are you
safety's
looking
always-
at all parts
Yeah,
of the
we look
car?
at everything, whatever. You just want to make sure that the car is actually safe to go on a race course. That's the first and foremost. And then you want to, fire extinguishers. You want to make sure that all the welds on the roll cages are nice. The car hasn't been rolled over. There's no cracks.
Yeah.
Things like that. Window nets are, not snow fence down the street, that somebody, for years that everybody
Hey,
did that
back in the day, they did it though.
Hey, we did whatever we
I
had
remember
to.
back in Elsinore, man.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
races of rhinos.
Oh, yeah. We did it. What do you mean a window net? What's a window net?
Yep, exactly.
I see a window net out of that.
Exactly. Go down the
Perfect.
street, Caltrans. Thanks, guys.
Exactly.
It's so incredible, man.
So.
What do you see in the UTV industry, man? I feel like it's just still crazy growing.
Yes, we can talk about this forever, whatever. If I would have known, I built one of the very, very first long travel kits for a Rhino in 2004. I brought the very first Rhino to the Sand Show in 2005, and I didn't bring it as a car to display. The Sand Show to me, we built off-road cars back then. I built big race cars. Sand Show was like, polished wheels and dorks, what I mean? Polished swing arms on quads,
That was me.
Yeah. Like I didn't do that. And I built and you'll laugh because he'll remember, I built a car for a guy that had a t-shirt company, Dino.
Yeah.
I built Dino's car and he put crazy paint all over it, whatever, and had some, which actually became a good friend of mine, whatever, that, painted it all up and put it in his booth.
Yeah.
Unleashed. Remember?
Oh,
Unleashed
yeah.
clothing.
Holy shit, I remember
Unleashed
that.
clothing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And his wife called me I dropped the car off and his wife called me on Saturday and she goes, "You need to come down here." I'm like, "I'm not going to Sand Show. That's dumb. That's for, dorks." And she goes, "I can't sell a t-shirt. I can't sell a fucking t-shirt without everybody wanting to know what the hell this thing is in my booth."
Oh, wow.
So I walked down there. She had a digital camera, which is funny, not your phone.
Yeah.
And she met me at Kinko's. We took a picture of the car in the booth.
Yeah.
And I went to Kinko's and printed them on like a lime green piece of paper. And people were giving me their credit card numbers. They handed me cash. And I was just filling my backpack.
Just
and
build one for me.
just build this, whatever it is, build it. Build it. And I was just like, okay, sure. I guess. I went back. I had a partner at the time up in Santa Clarita. And I went back and I'm like, "Hey man, we're building these golf carts." And he's like, "We are not. We build race cars." And I went like this with my backpack. And it was and he's like, "I guess we're building golf carts." And I said, "Yes, we are."
It was wild. The Rhinos
twice, yeah.
flew up. Well, because out in the dunes, in the desert, you always had a golf cart, get around camp. And you always wished
And that was
you
a
could.
golf cart on steroids.
Yeah, and you wish you could go off-road them a little bit more, but it was actually probably best that you couldn't.
Right.
But then all of a sudden,
you'd be dying.
Rhino, boom.
Yeah.
Everything you ever wanted your golf cart to ever be.
Yep.
And
You
they
take
were.
sand
And you'll
highway
throw
down.
and you'll throw one more at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy Horse.
Oh, yeah.
Think how crazy that because we beat the shit out of our golf carts all day long. Also now the Rhino, we could actually go out on the
On the track.
Yeah,
and
the
do it.
track.
We
Yeah.
could get in the water. We
Yeah.
could get in everything. And it had a truck bed. You could like build jumps. I mean, build jumps out of my house with it. Like, filled up the truck bed, dumped it, made jumps,
And then jumped
went
it.
and jumped it with the Rhino.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, I had no idea. I took it as this is a fad. It's kind of like like a 50 or something, whatever. It's just going to go away and disappear.
The reason why they did good is they were actually strong. They took a freaking beating.
Oh, you could annihilate them and they would just keep running. They're still
And
running.
That's what was fun about them. We weren't always working on them, everything. Like, obviously, they would develop issues over time. If you beat on it real hard, you got to put spindles and a steering rack in it.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But,
right. But you could go drive the thing. Yeah. It ran all the time.
You could drive it into a wall.
And you could drive it. The girlfriend could drive it. The kids could drive it.
That's
it was
true.
just you put your foot on it.
Yeah.
There was no, nobody
Put it
learned how
in
to
gear and
clutch.
go. Yeah.
Nobody had to worry about a clutch.
Easy.
Nobody had to learn how to drive
And
it.
what
They
I don't
weren't
think
afraid
a
of
lot
it.
of the new people understand too right now is the reason why there are Pro Rs, Turbo Can-Ams, the YXZs, and all these latest and greatest ones is because of the Rhino.
100%.
And it took off.
Yep.
And there was a market that it created and it started and it blew up
It
to
blew
where
up.
it was. Because
Yeah, but it's crazy because Yamaha started this, and now they're kind of in the back seat.
Yeah.
Everyone else has surpassed them.
But they took such a hit
with all those
From all
with
lawsuits.
all the lawsuits. What if they wanted
Broken
nothing to do with?
foots.
Yeah, they wanted broken foot, hands,
Yeah.
arms. I mean, they wanted nothing to do with these things.
Yeah.
They tried
They
to
were
run
out.
from. They wanted to run from the Rhino name, and everybody when the Razors first came out and the Teryxes came out, everybody called them Rhinos.
Yeah.
I mean, it took,
They did.
it took 10 years. It took
Right.
10 years,
Yeah.
and Yamaha couldn't run fast enough. It seemed like.
Yeah.
They wanted nothing to do with that name, and everybody else went. I want that. I want that.
So crazy.
And yeah, if I like I said, I would be completely. If I would have even had any forethought of this, I would have done way different. I mean, I still
another
kill
one?
it. Sure.
Sure. Go get 'em.
Another one?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Yep.
Want another water?
I'm good. I'm trying to quit.
He's trying to quit. Slow down. Yeah, lukewarm. Waters aren't even in the cooler.
We're
Might have to
breaking for beers.
Might have to steal you. Get you a monster cooler.
Yeah, dude. I used to have one, and it broke last year. And then Monster was supposed to give me a new one, but they just never did. So.
Well,
COVID.
It's crazy. So I get a monthly drop.
Yeah.
Every month I get X amount of stuff and like when COVID hit, they stopped.
Yeah.
So
Same
now
thing, it was COVID. It
so I
stopped.
have to. So if I have to anything, I go up to Rialto and go get everything I need. Whatever.
That's
But it's
smart.
just crazy what they like, sir.
Yeah, I definitely need to get a new one.
Yep.
I'll keep it here.
But yeah, they. But yeah, no, the right. I mean, again, it's. I had no idea. I had no idea this was going to keep going, and it
What
just
would
seems.
you have done different though?
Yeah, because you mentioned that. You mentioned something like if I knew what I do now, what?
Took it more serious, I guess, manufacturing side wise. I'm in a 5,000-6,000 square foot shop. I've got 5 or 6 guys that work for me at any time. And like if I would have known that this would have took off the way that it would have, I would have been in a building the size of Sean's, and I would have been making hundreds of things instead of tens of things, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like in 2010, 12, 13, those years when the Rhinos, the Teryx and stuff were there, I went out and sold the shit out of our exhaust to everyone I could.
Yeah.
I went to every power sports WD I could possibly get to. And for 10 years, I went hustling with them, trying to get these people to understand this market is going to blow up.
They want
it's
nothing to do with
huge.
it. Yep.
And they looked at them as golf carts. Power sports only wanted, dirt bike only, quads, that's it, ATV, right? And then the automotive side tried to get into it, but didn't really understand it either and thought it was more power sports. And it sat in the middle, and you had two massive industries who wouldn't
touch
jump on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still to this day, those industries haven't jumped on. They still try to get their feet wet, but it is its own damn industry now, right down the center. And one of them could have taken advantage of it and
100%.
really been, the king of the crop.
Yep.
And I guess if I were to go back in time, I would have just become a distributor. You should have too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's
all the parts.
We're all been distributors.
and it's early on. Like I said, we used to build big race cars and stuff and everything. Robbie Gordon with the trophy trucks and building class 1s, class 10s and stuff. I was there's Johnny Kaiser, and you know Johnny, whatever, but Johnny, he'd come by my shop and stuff, and I was always embarrassed. Johnny built, like the Alphas and stuff, whatever. Johnny's an Einstein when it comes to off-road.
Yeah.
And, I was embarrassed because I built golf carts. I've never once ever been embarrassed of my paycheck because when all my guys are we'd build 3 race cars in a year. At one point, I'm selling 50, 60, 70 long travel kits a month.
Wow.
It was just crazy. And then I went and done the dumb thing. I had to be better than everybody.
Secretly, you have a I heart golf carts in your
100%. Yeah, nobody comes to my house. I got a Rhino hanging from the wall. I've got,
It's tattooed on his lower back.
Exactly.
Right?
That's why I wear this the
How
whole
do you
time.
know that?
You got to pay rent somehow,
But yeah, I went, because everybody started making them, right? And then it was like, well, I'm going to one up everybody. I've got to make it better than everybody. And I decided I'm going to design a plate arm. And I used to be able to weld 3 or 4 long travel kits. And again, Rhino arm was this big, whatever at the time. But I could weld 3 or 4 kits in a day. And then when the Teryx came out and my relationship with Kawasaki and stuff at the time, I wanted to build something that nobody had, and I want to be badass. I want to build a full plate arm, TIG welded, and it's going to be just the coolest thing ever. Well, instead of welding 3 kits a day, it took me 3 days to weld 1 kit, and that was the dumbest thing I ever did.
Yeah,
but I'm proud of what I do. I want, it's like, hey, check it out. It's as cool as a trophy truck. It's as cool as whatever. It's just small. And that's what I wanted, and we still build that today.
It's that image,
but you know what though? That's probably why you're still here.
100%.
It
is not my business. It is not my business sense. It's not anything. I build a good part, and that's it.
Well, some people probably try to copy doing that process and realize, okay, fuck that.
Yeah, 100%, and they can't. Well, just even
China's not going to try to knock that shit off.
No, it's not, and it's funny. They try, and you look at it, and you're like, oh wow, that's And we've even looked at stuff and tried to maybe outsource things and even locally within Orange County or even stuff. I've given arms to manufacturers like, hey, weld these things together.
Yeah.
And they come back and it's just like, yeah, can't do that. I just can't get there.
So for people that don't know, like, what is in your opinion, what is the main purpose of a long travel for one of these UTVs?
So stability and more wheel travel and corrected geometry. We just don't make a car wider. There's a lot of people out there now that all they do is just they take something, they make it wider.
Yeah.
I go through and engineer stuff, figure out, make better camber caster, do things, whatever. Why is the car has, from the factory, it's got bump steer, or if you're going to extend the wheel travel on it. So, the cars only have, 8 inches of wheel travel. When you start getting past that, then it starts inherently having problems with, wheel scrub, bump steer, things like that. And you fix that. Well, 90% of the people out there, whatever, they don't care. They just make it wider and sell it.
Now, does the stock ones have some of those inherent problems and you're correcting
100%,
that?
Yes, 100%. All of them do. And then when some of them might only have a little bit of it, but when you take a car that has, 10, 12 inches of wheel travel and make it 20 inches of wheel travel, you exaggerate those problems.
Yeah.
And then there's cars, now almost to this point, we make basically a replacement arm. Like, other than the Pro XP, I don't even make anything that's long travel, really. Well, the new KRX, I've got suspension for that. But for the Can-Ams, I just make a replacement 72 arm. We just make it stronger, better. We use a uniball and a taper pin instead of the stock ball joint. We fix some of the caster and camber issues with it. We make, in a tie rod, there's some things you can do to help get rid of some of the bump steer. So, and we do that stuff. But that's what we do and not what's...
Do you ever build in adjustability for caster camber, or is your customer is that too much adjustability in it? You just kind of hit it, set it, let it go. But for like racing purposes,
we do make arms for race cars specifically that will make adjustable stuff.
Okay.
So depends on what it is. Anything when guys are running short course, a short course car, 8 inches of ground clearance or whatever, the car's going to be completely different. So we move shock mounts, we change caster, we change things, do whatever. So it just depends on what it is. That customer is usually going to come to me and say, hey, I'm racing a short course car. We're building a car. Or like, I race Polarises with Ryan Piplick. We go out in the desert. It's like, okay, I know what we're going to go do. We're going to go beat it up. And so I'm going to build something a little different, So
now I can think right now I've got maybe a couple products that like either they sold really well or they were really easy to build or they made like the most power. Like they're just memorable parts that we've created over the years. What is like one of your most memorable like applications or parts that you built, or whether it be big, small, long travel or not?
God, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's crazy, you want to say something that sells a lot, whatever, is, the Can-Am bulkheads, the front gusset kits, whatever. So there were some on the market at the time when we decided, I'm never first to market. When we build something, we go out and test it and beat on it. And so we start looking at stuff and we see that how some certain people are building things. It was like, well, that doesn't seem right. And so we built something that fixed a lot of problems, not only made it stronger, but also fixed problems that were wrong.
Not just move the problem somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. Not just chase it down the road. And that just went crazy. Like, I mean, I remember literally posting pictures of it like on Instagram or Facebook, whatever. And it just went bonkers.
I'm sure the insurance companies appreciate that too, so they don't have to total everything.
Right, exactly. Well, and what's funny is that I deal with like a couple insurance companies that allow me to put that on a car, not being an OEM part, because they know it's going to help the car later down the road.
That's cool.
Smart on their part.
Yeah, it's smart on their part, but technically they're not supposed to do that. It's like OEM stuff, whatever. Like if you got a crack in a frame, you can't weld the frame. You got to put a whole new frame in it. Things like that. And so it's been cool that way. But yeah, I just remember when we first came out with it, and we did something different than everybody else did.
Yeah,
and it just like everybody went, that makes sense, and it was just like, Now what do I do?
So now let's rewind a little bit. Born and raised Southern California?
Yeah. Born in San Diego, went to Arizona for college.
How'd you get into this industry?
Racing off-road.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up racing motocross. I did that for a long time, whatever, and then age comes to cage, whatever, anything, basically is how that works. I owned a 12-volt shop and did very well at 12-volt. Very, very well.
Like
at
12 volt. Like, what do you mean by that?
I hate saying car stereo because it's not a car stereo shop.
Okay.
It's not a car stereo shop. Like you remember Craig.
All the underglows, everything.
Not even that. Whatever. I mean, we did. I put the first TV in a headrest ever.
Nice.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's like I remember doing it. It was in a CES vehicle, SEMA or CES,
I forgot
whatever.
it was a lot of automotive you were involved in back in the day.
First Fast and
Yeah.
Furious.
He was. Yeah.
Yeah, I did crazy things, man. We used to put, we'd put antennas, power antennas in Ferraris and stuff. So like when I say car stereos, I couldn't tell you how to put a deck and a 2, on a Honda Civic.
Yeah. It's much more than that.
Yeah, I could show you a picture of my shop, and I've got 12 brand new Ferraris in my shop because
Damn.
And you're doing whatever it is.
yeah, and we had we just built custom stuff all the time, and so I did that, and I was hanging out with some off-road guys, whatever, and I would wire their cars. And so I started hanging out with them, and we'd go down to Mexico. We'd start racing stuff, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't you do that? And a very famous fabricator, whatever, kind of taught me how to weld. And
Can you name him?
no, I won't name him. Whatever about that.
I'm not dropping that name.
No, it's been years and years ago. He wouldn't care. But no, it's just I just learned how to weld, and then it was then I'd go to Mexico and start racing, and then something happened with one of the cars. I quit running. The owner of the car was like, I'm out of here. Whatever, screw that. It was like 50 miles in. And so he took off, got in a chase truck and ran. And it was like, I got the car running like in, 15 minutes later. I'm like, hey, I don't know.
Get back on.
I'm like, well, like that. They're like on the radio, like, well, you got your helmet? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, get in and drive. And we ended up like third place for that. And it was like,
What a ride opportunity is that?
He's like, you want to rate? You want to keep driving? I'm like, hell yeah, I do. So that's what we did. Basically, we built a bunch of cars.
That's rad.
So, and then Alan and I started just building cars. And that's, and it was, we started winning. And when you start winning, people want what you have.
Yeah.
And so it was like, now it's like, well, we couldn't race anymore because we were too busy building other cars.
Yeah.
So
racing class 1s or trophy trucks? Or?
Class 10s were mostly what we built. Yeah,
cool.
we built 10 and 12s.
Yeah,
is
This
what
was
we
such a
did.
competitive class back then, too.
Exactly.
Dude, class 10s are still
it's still
really
it's
competitive, man.
Oh yeah,
Still super
Yeah,
competitive.
We've said it before. I feel bad for class 10, though. Out
Because
of all the classes.
UTVs.
Oh, because side by sides are totally side by sides just get the
Yeah.
They're
It's just-
crushing them now. It's insane.
It is crazy.
I was they're crushing them, but they're definitely just as fast as them.
I don't know,
They're
man.
faster.
Pro are.
Well, I mean, we race with them all the time,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. It's like you're
faster than
chasing their dust, and it's you get in the
Insane.
tight and windy stuff, and
Yeah.
you walk them, and then you get out on a lake bed. Well, not necessarily now with the Pro R. Whatever, you get on a lake bed, and they just come right by you,
So
and they know it.
crazy.
And they don't like you.
No, of course they don't.
I'm fine with 10 cars, whatever,
Yeah.
but they don't like side by sides because it's a
No.
golf cart.
It is, I
and it's
know.
pissed when they get passed by a golf
Yeah,
cart.
of course it is.
It gets
But
frustrating.
like, it was also you get pissed because you don't appreciate and understand really what those cars have in them too. I mean, they're so far from what they originally were. I mean,
Right, yeah, they are not
there's
garbage.
probably more work into those Can-Ams and races than there are the
They're
class 10 cars.
dude.
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
Well, as soon as you get into 4-wheel drive, you know what I mean? Just right
yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's true.
As soon as you get into the 4-wheel drive aspect,
Yeah.
you've got differentials, you've got transfer cases, you've got all kinds of things
Yeah.
going on. So you've got axles all the way around. There's a lot of stuff going on them, and they appreciate them. It's funny, all the 10 cars, they all have a side-by-side. They all have
course
one.
they
that
all pre-run
Yeah, they all
side-by-sides.
pre-run them. They all run around them. But, yeah, they just hate them. So,
But they hate getting beat by them. That's what it is.
yeah, exactly.
If
Well,
they're beating them, fine, whatever.
Well, and when we first, now it's changed a little bit, but I mean, some of the first race cars that desert race cars that we built,
Yeah.
you could have built a 10 car for the same price.
Yeah.
Your 6-figure
True.
cars.
Yeah.
There's
It's
still 6-figure
insane.
cars out there.
There are.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
I mean, they're a lot more money now. You
start with like 40 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 grand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how much is a Pro R now?
49,999 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
For a 2-seater?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, didn't they have like all the different models too? Like all the
Well, now
live
they
stuff?
just have 2. They used to have 3.
Okay.
They used to have a Sport Premium and a
Ultimate or something? Okay.
So now they just have the Premier and the Ultimate. They got rid of the Sport.
And I
Can't
think
buy
the
it.
Ultimate has like all the live valve,
Live valving, ride command, everything.
insane.
They have like
Yeah, what
panic
it comes
buttons on the
with.
steering wheel for like
Yeah, ocean handles,
Yeah,
ocean
the ocean
button.
buttons for like you're gonna G out or launch it hard.
We have one
and
on a
you
race
hit it.
car.
No way.
Yeah, we run an Ultimate. We
That's
race an
dope.
Ultimate, and Ryan loves that.
Does it work?
Yeah, because it locks everything all out.
Yeah,
It just
works
stiffens
that-
everything up.
does
So
that
if you're,
click?
so it's like and it just, it helps a little bit just to kind of, if
I
you're
mean, I guess it's
overdriving, not
better
paying
than having
attention.
nothing at all, right?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
They're just hitting brakes.
Yeah.
So you're building a lot of replacement parts now.
Yeah, we built most of it stuff, whatever. I mean, the new KRX, whatever, anything that's, we're building a suspension kit that's longer and wider than stock. Better suspension, again, fixing some of the inherent problems with the car.
And you have them for all the latest models.
All the latest models, yeah. Pro R will be, we're out testing on the Pro R stuff, whatever. Okay. Kawasaki stuff, same thing. We're kind of testing right now. We built it a while ago, realized we wanted to make some changes to it. We weren't sure if the car was going to stick.
Yeah.
It was like, for a while. And now it's like our phones are kind of blowing up. It's the Honda Talon. Great car, awesome.
Yeah.
But nobody calls for aftermarket parts on it.
Really?
Yeah. There's
Nothing.
because
I never really see people modify much.
It's a different customer.
It is a total different customer.
Makes sense,
it's a great car.
Yeah.
I really like them.
I literally took a 2-seat Honda, an X, whatever the magazines gave me, and we did a bumper and a roll cage and stuff on it. And a friend of mine, Mark Bennet, whatever, races Can-Ams.
Yep.
And so we went down to Mexico. I built a car for Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah.
And Cowboy had never been to Mexico or anything. And so it was like, well, let's take him down. We'll go pre-run him for the 500
That's
and we'll
cool.
go have some fun. So we go down, and normally Mark brings a big 4-seater, luggage, shit everywhere to pre-run. And at the time, Cowboy only had his race car. And so he's bringing his race car. Well, Mark sees that he's bringing his race car. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm bringing my race car then. So Mark's got his 2-seat race car. And I've already got the Honda already loaded up, whatever, anything. And I'm like, you guys are killing me. So we made a bet in Ensenada. It was like how fast that thing's going to get back on the flatbed and go home.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lift. I'm not, I don't care. I'm
going to with them.
Yeah, exactly. I had my roll cage and a set of 33s on it just because it was at the Sand Show, all cool.
Well,
bitching.
a Honda, though, is one of the most dependable ones out there.
100%. But there's definitely some weak points on it from the factory, right?
Yeah.
The tie rods and things. And I drove that thing all the way 760 miles pre-run in it.
No
like
way.
that.
Awesome. It was still good.
Cowboy had an issue with some bolts or whatever in the car. Mark broke a belt. Mark broke like 2 belts. Had an issue. Things like that. Whatever. And I drove the Honda the whole way. Never
That's
stopped.
awesome.
Not even a flat tire.
Reliable,
that's right. They both
man.
got flats. They both got whatever like that. And I just drove the thing, put it on the trailer.
Old reliable right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I wasn't the fastest, but
Yeah.
they didn't get away from me at anywhere. There was nowhere that, and obviously we weren't race pace. So
you're cruising though.
I've never spent much time down in Mexico, but remember Connor from Outlaw Off-Road used to have the booth across from us at the Sand Show?
Yep. No,
I
Connor
did that off-the-grid thing for my 40th birthday.
Yeah.
Me and Chance went down there, rented one of his cars, and we did like 500 miles in like 3 days, and hit Mike Sky Ranch and Horsepower Ranch and a few of those places.
Yep.
And holy shit, man. It was so epic. It was probably the best thing I've ever done. I mean, I've done a lot of fun shit. And it was also having my son there, too, and him driving and scaring the shit out of me and me getting comfortable with being a passenger in a car because I'm the worst passenger ever. It was so much fun, sleeping fully clothed at Mike's Sky Ranch because you're like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah.
It was so rad. Like Mexico, I had a whole new appreciation for it then.
Yeah, we do it on the bike still, so that's even more fun.
Dude,
I can't get off of 2 wheels.
Yeah.
It's like I need to hang it up and I can't.
Yeah.
I went for I was on my son's 450 last weekend in Glamis and realized that.
I saw you riding out there.
Yeah, I go, the sand, I love the sand. I've learned that the sand on a dirt bike is my home. I can do it.
Well, that's because but you live in the sand. Whatever your LS, your side by side, everything that you have is sand.
The dirt, a dirt bike, it hurts. Yes, it hurts. And so I'm more scared, right? So I'm more nervous
because it hurts.
I'm more stiff. I'm more everything. I can't relax. I'm like, because we go ride right out of my house. There's dirt everywhere, and I'm just like,
it's
I'll
sketchy,
take the
man.
wife's TCR 125. This will be
Yeah,
perfect.
exactly.
I'm up there,
That's the fun. It's like a 110. Go have fun on 110.
So that's right. So now, how come you never got? I mean, you came from dirt bikes and all that stuff. How come you never really got into that market? What? Just your path just led you down into full size cars and golf
that
carts?
was what. Yeah, but at the time when I was still racing and riding and whatever like that, I still had a 12-volt shop. So. It really wasn't. Yeah, it's just
so
12-volt
funny
shop.
you call it like that.
It's 12-volt. It just is. It's just funny. I mean, again, I just you can't say car stereos. It's just I didn't do a car stereo shop.
Yeah.
It does label like a whole different demographic when you're like car
100%.
stereo shop.
Yeah, it's true though. You think,
Oh yeah.
Right next to the going out of business for sale.
Exactly. That's what you think for sure.
Stack them deep, sell them cheap. Man.
Yeah,
that's
swap meets that.
Yeah, and that's what got me out of it. Actually, I mean, I bought my business from my old boss, and I sold my shop to 2 kids that work for me, whatever.
Nice.
I saw it coming.
Yeah,
I just saw the stack it deep, sell it cheap thing. I just saw it coming. And I mean, factory car stereos are, they're getting better and better and better and everything. And not, throw a stupid box in a trunk, whatever like that. That's just not what we did.
Pacific Stereo, they're still killing it pretty
well, look at them now, Power Sports. Look at that.
You're right. The whole new market.
Well, so that's
Fosgate and all
so
that
what's funny is
UTVs.
because my 12-volt stuff,
automotive, boat, then now off-road.
right. So the first pods, you know, and if Trevor watches this, whatever, he'll scream and yell at me and laugh, whatever. But I was still doing fiberglass pods in the Rhinos because that's just what I did. I built fiberglass speaker enclosures and stuff. And I just wanted nothing to do with it. And everybody was yelling at me. And I had friends that were working at a different manufacturer at the time. And they're like, hey, we want to get into this. And I'm like, sure, that's hog wild on it, whatever. So Trevor, SSV Works.
No way.
Yeah, so Trevor basically started, you know, nobody was doing stereo stuff. Kicker wasn't involved. Nobody was involved. And so for years, he was the guy. And he still is. You know, I mean, he still runs it pretty good considering what, you know, now he's up against, you know, Kicker and M-Gate or MB Court, Fosgate.
My Razor 900 that I had, it had his sub underneath the dash. He did. He created the first kit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, got you 98% there.
Yes, 100%. Yep. And he's still killing it to this day, whatever. And I totally could have went that path in 2 seconds. Just wanted nothing to do with it at the time.
I know, but
all I wanted to do was build race cars, you know, and that's what, you know, and these.
That's your love, though.
And these stupid golf carts got in my way. You know, that's what it was. But it was fun.
Look at you now.
These golf carts paved the way for you.
And again, like I said, I say it all the time, and Johnny and I laugh, whatever. I'm talking to Robbie on the way here, or whatever, like that. You know, I've never been embarrassed by my paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I just, you know, you guys laugh at me all the
I'm
time.
living off it. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's 20. It's been 2004, 20 years, something like that.
Damn,
19
you're
years.
insane.
Well, how many? I know. What was your first year sand show? When did you first?
The very first one, 21 years ago, I think.
What was the first
20
one?
years. I'm pretty sure it's 21 or 22 years ago.
So I remember bringing my Super Duty to one of them and to fill the grass and stuff. It was like me, Louie, Craig, and Johnny Otto. We brought all our stupid just to fill the grass, whatever they
I had my big red truck out there.
Yep.
Had the matching sand car. That's when I had backdraft, I think, out there. And that's when,
So I remember coming out there for that. That's when I remember it was just
years.
like, I just remember it was like, you know, that was when I was like, polished swing arms and, you know, whips.
Well,
That made no
I
sense.
sold, then I would go there and I would sell truck exhaust.
Yeah.
And maybe some Sanrail mufflers.
Right. Yeah.
That was it.
Now I go there and I sell power sports exhaust.
Exactly.
And maybe a truck exhaust.
Right.
Yeah, but that's all it is now. It's 98% side by sides.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's such an awesome show, though, the sand show. Like, I know you missed it a little bit. Like, it's awesome
But I
because
didn't.
of.
So out of 20 years or whatever,
I know
it
you're
was,
laughing.
18.
Have you been to
Because
it
we talked.
before?
Well, yeah, last year he came. I brought him out, invited him out last
It's
year.
awesome because of the people that are there.
It's
and
awesome.
the type of show that it is. Like, people that come there to spend money, have fun. It's a fun show.
You and I make it fun.
Yeah.
Being next to each other as
It's
long
the
as we have,
people.
and across from each other, whatever it is, because of those people and the industry people,
Yes.
it makes it fun.
It's the
And
head
then
of
all the
Statue
friends and
Coors
family you
Lights.
haven't seen for a while that go to the
Yeah.
desert.
Right,
You
yes.
see, that's
Yeah.
what makes it fun.
What's
Yeah.
that bar? The goat bar? The goat on the hill? Goat
Goat Hill.
Goat Hill?
Goat Hill.
Is
Yeah.
it Goat Hill?
Oh, Goat Hill Tavern, dude.
Yeah, you've been to Goat Hill. Have you never been to Goat Hill?
okay,
Goat Hill Tavern.
yeah.
Have you never been to Goat Hill? I have an epic Goat Hill story. We won't. I don't need to bring that up.
Oh, come on. Anytime now.
Yeah, no. That was
No.
Yeah, I couldn't. The next day, were you not?
I don't know.
There you go.
I got a little
So
wild
bad.
stories there, too.
Yeah.
Chuck from DuneBuggy.com. Never met the guy. Never met the guy before in my life.
Oh, we're going
And he
into
invites
it,
us. Yeah, he invites us to go to Goat Hill with some mutual friends.
Well, this was when he's kind of trying to get into the game and just trying to
Yes.
be the guy.
He was going to be the guy.
Yeah.
And we get there and it just turns into it was USC Nebraska college game.
Yeah.
And there was this one booth of like 6 or 7 girls and guys, whatever, in this corner booth. And I guess all night long, I guess USC just killed them that year, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I know nothing about ball sports. I just don't pay attention at all. And so all night long, these guys kept asking. They kept asking everybody, "Oh, how's that game? How's that game?" You know, yeah, whatever. So the end of the night, sloshed, hammered, whatever. We're sitting there waiting for everybody to leave. And outside, and I look at the dude. I'm like, "Hey, man, how'd the game go?" "Fuck you, you goddamn Southern California, you guys suck. You know, we come out here to do this, and I just can't. You guys all whatever." And Jamie Fagan, we're hanging out, whatever like that. And she gets in between, and she gets between and goes, "Hey, it's okay, it's fine, it's no problem like that." And she pushes Jamie. I'm like, dude, you don't push a woman. You just don't.
my God.
What do you mean? Oh, screw you like that. And he pushed her again, boom, and he called her a bitch or something, whatever like that.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Jamie turns around and goes, "Excuse me?" Game on.
God.
Yeah, it was like we were swinging left and right. Bouncers were involved.
So big old
everything.
brawl happened at the bar.
And and Chuck from DuneTheBuggy.com, never met the dude before in my life, standing right here, and he paid for our bill and all our food and everything, and he's getting shoved around and pushed around and shoved in the corner and everything. I'm like, oh man,
what a mess.
So it's this whole big old deal. Cops are coming, everything. One of the bouncers picks me up from the back, whatever like that. I was like, beating the shit out of this guy. And, get out of here, cops are coming. We all leave. I'm wearing shorts. My knees are like just bloody from the cement.
Oh no.
I can't even see my knuckles because they're just swollen. Next morning, I look like that, come walking in, and everybody's like, I'm in my booth, and everybody's looking at me like, what the hell? And I'm like,
surprised I can't remember the details of this because I've been the first to say some stupid shit.
Oh, yeah, it was horrible. And all I can think of is,
up.
all I have to do is, I'm like, I got to go over and apologize to this dude. Like, this is the worst thing in my
Oh, the
life.
DuneBuggy.com
Yeah,
guy?
Chuck, dude. I'm like, I got to go over
probably
and
like, greatest night of my life.
And that's exactly. So I go walking over there, tail between my legs, hungover.
So sorry, dude.
I'm hobbling.
Can't
My
even shake
knees
his hand because your hands are sore.
swollen. And he's like, oh my. And I'm like, hey, dude, I'm not. I'm like that, but I'm not like that. That is not me. And he just goes, dude, I had so much. That was epic. That was the best thing. We're going out tonight, aren't we? And I'm like, hell no.
Going back to Going Hill Tavern.
I'm going home tonight. Yeah.
I am done.
Yeah, it was epic.
But that's
insane, man.
But that's what makes the sand show fun. I mean, you can see everybody. Saturday night we usually do a dinner. Everybody goes out.
Yeah.
Sand show. SSV Works. All of us. Crowley. Shit. We all. You do that. You
And that's what,
out
like, you go to the races and stuff that you used to race. You have like that friends and group and that family. Like
Same
it's
thing.
Just you enjoy
mess.
seeing them and they're there. Like
100%,
when we
yeah.
go to the dunes, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
When you go to the lake, so it's kind of that same vibe.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's when we have to go work a trade show somewhere we've never been before. It's kind of
Right.
boring. So then you just make friends with all these random
Yeah.
people you're talking into.
Never get
you have so
done,
much
dude.
fun, but like,
That's how trade shows are, though. You,
It
you
is.
go
It
like
is.
part of it is like doing trade show stuff, but the rest is like, what are we doing tonight? Like, let's
just
go out and have a good
network, you
time.
make you friends,
Yeah.
and then you walk into the next morning all laughing at each other because everybody was giant idiots.
Who's using their company card to like,
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's all
exactly.
write it off.
See, that's the problem with us. It's like, yeah, company card. Like,
Okay, wait. So where are we
You got
going now?
this,
I know.
man.
Forget what I said earlier on the phone, right?
exactly. Exactly.
Oh, that's wild. All right.
Yeah, but
Well, I got one last question. With USAC and stuff,
Yep.
if somebody wanted to get into racing side by sides, obviously buy a side by side of their choice that feels good. What is their first steps that they do? I mean, do they call someone like you and find someone with experience behind it to help build their car? Do they
100%.
go to the track and start meeting people? Like, what would you? Newbies, what would you recommend?
what do you want to race? That's the first thing. Like, where's your passion? Where's your heart? Where you want to go race in the desert? You want to go race short course?
Yeah.
What do you want to go do? Want to go drag race? Greg Biffle runs a sand drag team.
Yeah.
So what do you want to go do? And then go to a race. Meet people, talk to them, see what they did. Try to learn from what they're. The biggest thing is go volunteer for pits. I mean, that's how I got into it.
Oh, that's
Same.
a great idea. No way.
Yeah,
Really?
that's how I did.
Nice.
Yeah, just go and
It's a great idea,
Look at-
actually, when you think about it.
I mean,
help, man.
you
Meet
go look
people.
at go look at Herbst, go look at Robbie, go look at all those guys, whatever. I'd say a good third of their pit crews, they're volunteer
Volunteers,
guys.
yeah.
I mean, I think about when I was a kid, I was volunteering on all their shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so I could ride in one of their bitchin' pre-runners
Right.
or something.
That's all.
That's all I
Yeah,
wanted.
you're hoping for a T-shirt.
You want a
You
t-shirt.
get a
You want
T-shirt,
a
a
t-shirt.
hoodie,
polish the
and
fender.
then
Exactly.
and then possibly he's going to give you a rip down. Whenever they're shock testing or doing something, whatever.
Maybe invite me to the dinner at night.
Yeah.
With
Right.
everyone.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah, same thing. But
it's
yeah, you just volunteer and see if that's what you want to do. Realize that it's it's a whole lot of work for a lot of for a plastic trophy basically.
It is.
So that's how you got started into it?
Well, I moved out to Arizona and was living out here and working for a different company, and then it just went from snowmobiling to obviously natural progression to all of a sudden they're driving these side by sides, and I moved out here and there was rhinos everywhere, and I'm like, these things are awesome. So I picked up an 800, and I just happened to live up in
Dude, the 800
Flagstaff.
is so fun.
Yeah, and I lived up in Flagstaff, and whatever Whiplash or whoever the series was came around, and, they had a race in my
That's how long
backyard
it
at the
was.
Cinders. So I was like,
That's
oh, why not?
awesome.
So I drove out there and did it and destroyed the car. Had the time of my life. And so then I hopped on what was it, Razor forums at the time.
Damn.
Brian Bush.
Yeah, so I'm
Throw-
on Razor.
throw out. Give a throw out.
So I was on Razor forums, and my brother came out, and he's like, I want to see King of the Hammers. So I was like, all right. So we drove out there, and then Brian Bush hops on there, and he's like, I need help. I'm like, I'm out here doing nothing. So
Yeah.
I ended up
Nice.
in Brian Bush's pit and hung out with him for a while. Then all of a sudden he invited me to co-drive in Best in the Desert. And then I started doing that stuff. And then when the XP1000 came out, I picked one of those up, started racing Works.
Wow.
And then it was just, from that point, it was Best in the Desert and Works almost every weekend.
No way.
Yeah, nonstop until I finally gave it up in 2018.
Wow.
Crazy, man. That's awesome.
So what do you think about the West Coast racing right now? What's its problem? What is it missing?
Wow. Wow.
I mean,
Is this another show or are we starting?
Yeah. I guess you're editing, doing whatever. But
we have to cut it up.
Can we order pizzas? What are we doing?
We'll finish it up. Just give us a lowdown, though. That's a great question because
what do you
Midwest
think
racing
is
is amazing right now. But out here, what's going on?
What is it missing? Is it the people? Is it because of insurance companies over-insuring, making the cost so expensive that people just don't want to do it? Is it the lack of the tracks and the places to do it and the BLM not working with them? Or is it literally just the core of racing and it's the promoters getting greedy or the racers not wanting to race and just play? Like, what is it?
I think anytime it comes to racing, you're gonna have ebbs and flows. So I think right now we're just at a lull in the system.
Yeah.
So basically, like, people are looking elsewhere for fun and activity, and that's really where the RedBull Scramble series comes in.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about earlier, you pay $150. You already have the car with the roll cage because everyone that buys a car, first thing they do is try and whip a donut, roll the cage or bend the cage, call up Brian, let me get a cage.
Hey, we need a cage.
Yeah. Boom. You got a cage. You're in the pro class. So now you have the opportunity to get $5,000. So you're absolutely amped on that. So you go out there and you race your little heart out and you and your buddies have the time of your life. And all you spent was fuel to get the Glamis, which you were going to do anyway. And then $175 for a participation t-shirt. And then you're out there racing.
Awesome. Well, and then we always talk about, we pretty much racing each other when we're out there regardless. So now you actually get to physically race.
Yeah. Now you have transponders and you actually have
transponders.
You have bragging rights and things like that. So then that's kind of where racing's at. So again, when I got into racing, it was the Razor 800 and I was racing the Whiplash series. So we were out there, it cost me a couple $100 and we were racing it. Now, if you want to get into works racing, I'm sure you've experienced it. It's a crazy amount of money.
And there's not a whole bunch of seat time.
And now turn around, who's helping you out? You don't have much Polaris backing. You don't have a lot of,
nothing.
Where's ITP Tire and Wheel anymore?
Well, so I was talking to one of my guys who...
It's crazy, though. I got an exhaust sponsor. It's insane what they pay me.
They pay really well.
I think they really well.
Just buy one, get one free.
It is.
Just give me a bunch of cats. I just need catalytic converters.
That's where the real money is now.
That's all I need.
So I was talking to one of my guys at the shop. He's big into the side-by-side racing stuff, too. And it seems like right now... It was Works for a while, that type of racing, right? Yes. And they really kind of niched that market, carved out their way. Now there's a lot of other series trying to come in and replicate that model because there was some room for improvement for sure.
Yep.
Do you think that competition is going to help grow it? Or hurt it?
I think ultimately it's going to hurt it because everything's so diluted. Now you have, how many desert series are there right now? 3?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 3.
That's crazy.
3 desert series? Yep. So, like, to be competitive, like, which one are you going to pick?
Yeah,
and then,
you can't.
And then you pick best in the desert, and then you want to race the best, out there, and then half of them are racing the score
Legacy.
series. Or Legacy.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, cool. Now I have to race both. Well, the average consumer is not going to, like, you just bought a car for $50,000, and you haven't even started your build at that point.
No,
you just got it off the showroom floor.
They're going to drop $50,000 in the building at least.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the side-by-side went from being an affordable form of entry-level racing to now you can pick up a Class 10 car, down the road and race it and then get the same end result hanging out with your buddies in the desert racing the car.
Yeah.
You have the same end result at the end of the year.
Yep.
So
is it cheaper to fix a Class 10 than it is a UTV?
No.
No.
That's the problem still.
It's also
the prep stuff still is where the 10 car still excels in.
Yeah.
The beauty of the side-by-side is at the end of the day, you hop on any Polaris dealership and you can order parts for that race car.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's a crazy phenomenon
Yeah,
that
you
we're
go
not
to
used
Vegas
to
to
seeing.
Reno and break down before Reno, order some parts from Polaris dealers, have it there, and fix your car and finish.
Exactly.
You really can.
You really can.
Yeah.
Or hit the dealership on the way out.
Yeah.
You're 100%. And you can't do that, between transmissions and motors alone,
Yeah.
All the suspension components are all custom built for that car or whatever. So it's just the prep that's the difference.
Do you think that the competition is going to be beneficial for the drivers potentially because it's going to create competition and make people work harder to try and grow their series or add more value to the racers? Do you think that's going to help or?
Yeah, it's always going to. Obviously, you need the racers to race. It's like you can put all the best races on, and if you don't have any racers to race it, so when you want, and it seems to be. There's so much that goes into it, whatever. And it's funny that when I used to just race side by side, like I knew nothing compared to when now I'm on the backside of this thing.
Yeah.
What it actually takes to put on a race. Mm-hmm. The amount of involvement and the amount of everything that happens, and you got to get people to. the racing needs to be the main part of it. It seems like a lot of people anymore that are promoting races and stuff, they're promoting everything around the race, and the actual race is like almost an afterthought.
Now,
and that is what I seem. That's what it seems a lot of, and it seems where it's like we're the show. You know what I mean? It's like we're the show. We need. It's
I
like
see that a lot with.
us.
Yeah, I do. I see that a lot.
It's
with racing promoters.
So with racing, so my son's raced go-karts since he was 3.5. We've done all that. And I've always kind of been a believer in the strength, or the rise and the fall of a good series can really be determined by the tech.
I'll go with that.
The lack of there, or not unfairness, or
cheating,
unclear rules.
100%.
Like if there's a good, solid tech
rule book,
and rule book that's enforced, it makes for a fair series.
Yeah.
Well, and you're not racing people's checkbooks as much. Obviously, there's
always going to be some checkbook.
100%.
Yeah, and I've learned that, whatever. And I've tried to take, in me with writing rules and stuff, whatever, I've tried to take the checkbook aspect out of it as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
But, there's, you've
That's
got
hard
Miles'
though,
old cars.
man.
You've got Miles' old car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck's, the amount of money Chuck's put into cars and stuff,
That's
whatever.
insane, yeah.
And now with Miles, they're going to go race roundy rounds. They're going to go race, they're going to go race sprint cars. And it's a USAC deal.
Yeah.
But it's been around forever, and it's just so set and dry that it's, I'm going to build a car, and I know it's not anything better or worse than that guy.
It's a driver's.
Everybody's already figured out every secret and everything that is. There's no more cheating.
Right, yeah.
This is what is, and this is what we're going to go do. And it's like, and
which is kind of good, right?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. That's what.
Yeah.
I get a lot of influence from that.
It's a level
whatever
playing field all the way across.
Yeah, and it's and it's not against the tech guys that are doing the tech and stuff and everything. It just comes down to a solid rule book.
Yeah.
And what you can. You can write a rule book. You can write the best rule book in the world, but if you can't reinforce that or enforce that rule book, it doesn't matter. You could write all these things. Oh, you can't do this. You can't do this. But if you have no way to tech that, it doesn't do any good.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets into things. And I could bring up all kinds of examples of just. Yeah, we're gonna make this.
Plenty of examples.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna make this, and
we want to make friends on the show, not enemies.
Yeah, exactly. And you could totally. There's, and it's like,
I'm
and
out.
what if I ever tried to make friends?
What are you talking about?
Me?
That's how we do this. Controversy.
That's what's going to hurt. That's what's going to hurt side by side racing or off road racing in general. Is now we have how many short course series do we have? We have one in the Midwest, which has a completely separate rule book than the one out here on the West Coast.
Right.
And then announced today, there's a completely separate truck series in Oklahoma.
Right.
At Mid America Outdoors.
Right.
What?
Yeah, they're running a 4-round stop because they're building the track for Champ. So Champ's now not just the Upper Midwest short course series.
Right.
It's now moving down to.
Are they doing kind of like a regional series, or are they doing like a full?
No,
pro
they're
series?
They're just
still
going to add.
racing
They're going to add.
nationals.
They're going to run all the Midwest stuff. But
Yeah,
they're just
gonna
going to add a Oklahoma.
Yeah, I know they're.
Round.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And then, so that track's being built in Oklahoma now. So then the
owners of the track
owner
We're
track's
also
like,
going to have series. Well, they have to, right? They
They're
don't
like,
want
cool.
the tracks in there all
Well, they
year.
don't have to,
Yeah.
but yeah, they've built the track.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Build it, and they will come.
so
Just
now,
like Glen Helen or whatever.
and then they have these huge payouts in Oklahoma. So all these people are going to be like, cool, well, I'm going to race my truck just in Oklahoma because I can make more money. I travel the same distance, like set up a shop. You rent a shop in Oklahoma for the summer, like a lot of people do in the Midwest.
They do Crandon shops.
Yeah, but
like
now
Ryan
your
Beer,
payouts
everybody.
are so much more being in a track in Oklahoma. So then it's like, why go all the way to the Midwest when all I have to do is go to Oklahoma and then race these 4 or 5 rounds here. And then they have a epic live stream coming out with that.
That's good.
With that series. So it's like,
Dude, good
now,
for them,
now all of a
man.
sudden we have another series with another set of rules. It's like, man, we're just
that's
pulling
where-
everyone so thin.
And that's where I come in to where I'm trying to get that reel that in.
Yeah.
And have a one rule book.
Well,
So
are you
within-
going to be part of that
within-
series?
Well,
Is
with-
USAC part of it?
Yeah, we are part. Yeah,
Yeah.
we are part of Mid America. So
Yeah.
we
It's
do a
almost
lot
like
of stuff.
USAC
with them.
should be the umbrella.
Well, and we're trying to do
holds
that
it together.
So
Now we're talking.
So there's a whole other show that we could talk about that. So so within USAC, we've created another, basically sanctioning body just for side by sides, and we tried to do this. You'd probably remember this. We tried to do this a few years ago, and when we spent months and months, and everybody was about it. We did this whole thing, and when we got it out there and said, hey, look, this is what we want to do. All the racers at that time basically went, oh, you guys are just trying to make extra money, and they're just trying to charge us money, and da-da-da-da-da. And it kind of just disappeared, and it went away, whatever. Well, now, 10 years now, it's like if we would have pulled that off, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Yeah, true.
We would have it.
It would have been
And
epic.
everybody has come back to me and said, hey, look, this is what is. And so I've kind of revived that within
tough.
USAC,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to do that. So between Champ, Mid-America, Ultra 4,
Yeah.
all of those series, at least, whatever, and some of the small regional series around here and stuff, that they all come to me for rules, and I give them away. It's like, here's the rule book, just use it.
That's good because then it's all the same.
It's all the same at least, whatever. And they come to me and stuff.
So you can race gas, and you can go race champ, you can race Mid-America, whatever you want.
And that's where we're, but we still have this conflict. There's still people that, between like Best of Desert and Legacy, perfect example. They want to be the series. And they're, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Well, but I want to be the friendly guy, and I'm going to let this guy race. But this guy can't race, and it's like just everybody get along.
In go-karts, it was the same damn way
every time. That's what's awesome
there
about
was
it.
There was different engine packages for different places, and let's just say they were even similar. Then there was different tires you had to run, which were different setups, different everything, different fuel, which was different tuning, different everything. And they all were trying to no one worked together.
Right. Well, it's back in the old day, the old Lucas and Torque.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You good there?
Yeah. All right. Just choking on my excitement.
Yeah, exactly. Go-karts. So that was his whole life for the last 12 years.
So long.
But yeah, I mean, the original Torque and Champ, Torque and Lucas. They just, they would do things on purpose just to make sure that,
Dude, so they would not let Brian Deegan go race.
Yeah, 100%.
Torque.
Yeah, 100%.
So you go race him, we're black flagging you.
Yeah. Well,
And
no,
they
they just
knew
made a
it
car
happened.
and go back and forth on that. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're not going to let the Torque guys are going to come out here.
Yeah.
And they're not going to let them race here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It was
you got an
insane.
inch and a half car. Oh no,
I know.
we banned
And
inch and a half cars.
And how's that good for the fans at all?
This is stupid, dude.
Well, because I was just sitting.
Sport.
Yeah, that's what's getting hurt.
Like
That was why I was so I lived in Minnesota and I was so amped about short course truck racing. I had the Kurt Leduc posters.
So rad.
I'm thinking middle of Minnesota. 10 feet of snow outside. I'm like, man, short course trucks are epic, guys.
I loved it so much.
They're
I
cool
had
shit, though.
I had
Yeah,
a pro
they're awesome.
buggy, and I raced core back in the day, and it was the best. And I used to, because I'm sitting there when you guys are all talking, I'm going like, why don't I go to any of these gas series races, or why haven't I gone to any of these other races? I used to love it, right? I loved the short course. Like when those Pro 4s went out or the Pro 2s, it was just
awesome, dude.
fucking awesome, right?
30,000 horsepower out there just ripping around doing everything. Yeah,
And
it's
the
awesome.
problem is everyone's spread out.
Yeah.
And
That
no
was
one's
the
here.
problem.
We need someone like, the Lambo Leroy Show, or maybe we should do the RedBull Scramble should be next, is an invitation invite for all racers. All short course racers, and get them out here to Glen Helen and have them race, and just bring back the old days.
It's got to be a different track. It's got to be a new track, something different.
Well, that was always that's the struggle. That's why I
know that's the problem with short course.
Yeah.
That's the problem is trying to keep they lost it at Elsinore.
They go dig up the parking lot.
I know. But why
Pomona again?
Yeah, we'll dig out the Pomona. Yeah, but core days were the shit. I mean, I raced the gravel pit in Chula Vista and everything.
Blows my mind? Okay, Chula Vista was amazing, and then Mexico Estero Beach was amazing when Lucas had that. That was the coolest track
That was
ever.
wild.
That was awesome. Okay,
And you could do those two. Well, you can't do Chula Vista anymore.
no,
Whatever,
it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Baldwin built a bunch of houses.
Prim's still out there, isn't
Prim's
it?
still there.
Yeah,
So
Prim's still there.
Gas is racing the next year.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
still there.
Well, it's
Yeah.
funny they keep
The casino's really not there anymore. I mean, it's still a shell, but it's not
right.
open.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's where I
they're-
met my ex-wife. It's all right.
Is it? The tree bar?
that's weird. I met her there too.
That's why she's the ex.
Makes sense. All makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what? It's crazy. It frustrates me. So Lucas would never change tracks ever.
No.
And then remember the last year they were changing Arizona. I was like, whatever. They're just cool. They're changing it. They ruined it because there used to be a split lane. It was really cool before that.
Yeah.
Then they changed it. No split lane. I'm like, you guys ruined it. You changed it and you ruined it.
Yeah.
But dude, Nitro Rallycross comes out here to Glen Helen and changes it completely. No problem.
Right.
Why couldn't Lucas Oil just change a track once every year?
Because I do
a lot
Nitro
of
Rally
money.
as well.
Yeah.
So that's a USAC thing. So
Yeah.
we're out there. I run the grid. Actually, him and I actually run the grid.
Sweet,
We're out there on the Holden Holes.
I don't know if they're filming it.
So we're going to need some tickets.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, got you hooked up.
Dope, dude.
So what's
We're the
crazy
biggest
is
nobodies in the game.
I love it.
You can watch almost any video on YouTube, and Brian and I are in the background.
I recognize the shit out of you too. I guarantee I've just seen you at all these races.
I can give you 3 examples why you know my face. I almost guarantee it. I can get you on the first 2. I used to be Andrew Carlson's crew chief.
Okay.
20 and 21.
All right.
And my girlfriend's Tiffany Stone.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, T-Stone, dude.
Hold on. Did he
I
actually
love
say that out loud too?
T-Stone.
Look at
Okay,
look
so
at that.
you
Public trial.
got Gibby on the first 2.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
T-Stone's fucking awesome.
That's why I look familiar.
Makes sense. All right.
And I'm a 6 foot tall white kid.
Yeah.
I look like every.
He's a Midwest. He's a 6 foot Midwest kid, which looks like everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right. That's awesome.
Midwest 10.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So it's a money thing. I can tell you that for sure. Whatever. So what NRX puts into their deal.
Yeah.
I mean, they're nonstop in their dirt work. I mean, they, and it's crazy.
No, it's amazing though.
Yeah, but I've never met. It's crazy. We should just pave there. It's like how the Pro 2s and Pro 4s have almost gotten. Like they complain that the track's rough. It's like, isn't this off road?
Yeah,
we should just pave it at this point.
Yeah,
it's like we just run
And then
asphalt.
they complain
everywhere.
when they go out there and groom and then water and it's slick.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we got that too.
Rally guys are a lot that way, and I get rally guys only have 4 or 6 inches of wheel travel. Pro 4, Pro 2's got a little bit more than that.
Come on, guys. Yeah, exactly.
It's like you suck it up. But yeah, it's crazy. It's honestly what NRX has put into that. Nitro is it's a whole different game. I mean, they definitely have. It's
so
awesome.
They got bought though, right?
Yeah, they got bought.
By CBS or somebody.
No, it's and it's gonna throw one is what is it? It was a chunk of change. I know that.
Yeah, no.
So it was $350 million or something crazy, whatever. Yeah, it was a chunk of change.
Wow.
But that was everything Nitro, I believe.
Wow.
And again,
really?
So that's above.
Oh,
That's above my pay grade.
That's
way
cool.
above my pay
Yeah,
grade.
yeah.
But yeah, no, they
Cool,
put in the dirt time. That's
Yeah.
for sure. So, and we learned that we were out there. We're in Arizona.
Yeah.
And that track's going away because they're putting some crazy freeway interpass thing, whatever. And there's going to be some soccer fields.
The
And-
Firebird one?
Yeah, the Firebird's finally going away, and then
And
going
the
this
drag strip,
weekend.
the lake, and
everything's
everything?
going away because they're putting in some interchange. And I guess while we were there on Saturday, they reached out to Nitro and said, "Hey, you guys want to race this next year?" Because and they're like, "Well, I thought what's going away?" And the guy said something about
it'll be there still.
the state bond's gone or something, or it's not there or whatever.
Wow.
So it's still going to be there. So
Cool.
I just don't know that. So I know like Utah, we've
Yeah.
raced Utah with the Big Gap
Oh,
and
that's right.
everything.
That was huge. Yeah.
So I know that Travis or Nitro,
Yeah.
they own that track basically. So nothing gets changed. It just stays there until we use it.
Yeah.
So I don't know with Wild Horse if how that works. If we can,
I feel like no one's going to be using that track.
well, I think we have it until next year.
Cool.
We, or
Sweet.
you,
That'd be
or
awesome.
NRX does.
Yeah,
anyways.
NRX does. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
But like Glen Helen, like Lori will
Other
rent
people
that.
use it, yeah.
Yeah, Lori will rent that to anybody. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome when they can move it around. But I don't know the whole logistics of how much you got to bring it back to do whatever.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
Because
Yeah.
the GBC does a little short course series
Yeah, I've
there.
seen those series, yeah.
I mean,
They're not
there's a
doing
bunch
They're
of
not
stuff.
doing gap jumps.
No, they are not doing gap jumps. Yeah, nobody wants to do
the trophy cars.
Gap jump is sick,
nobody wants to
though.
do gap
You got
jumps. Did you go to the very, very first Utah race, the NRX?
No, when what's his name broke his back over it, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Speed, Scott Speed.
Yep.
That was gnarly, dude.
So, like, literally, we spent 4 days, like, doing speed tests and all these
Yeah.
things, whatever. Nobody would do the gap. And Travis sat down. It was kind of funny, whatever. Like, there's all these meetings and stuff. And Travis basically says, he goes, "It doesn't matter if it's a school bus or a dirt bike. Anything under 75 miles an hour jumps the same. It doesn't matter. There's no change on it." And then, like, all these guys are standing there looking at that.
argument, bro.
Well, tell me one person that's ever jumped a dirt bike in a school bus.
Yeah,
You're right.
he's
He'd
done
be the
both.
only one that can
Yeah.
speak on
Ding,
it.
ding, ding. That's exactly what went through my head. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can't argue that point because name some other person
No
that's
one
done
else
that.
can.
No.
And it's like, and he tried to get him, and it took us like 2 or 3 days of all this speed testing and da da da.
Yeah.
And finally, one of the guys jumped it, whatever, and it was like, oh, it's easy. And boom, 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 they all did it.
Yeah.
But I mean, Travis did it in his, he did his rally car multiple times. He did it on his dirt bike a million
Yeah.
times, and he, it's like there was a stock 4-seat Razor sitting there that we used to run around the pits.
Yeah.
Travis, give me the keys to it. I'll show you guys. And it was like
It's
everybody's
that
like, no,
easy.
no,
The
no,
insurance
no,
like,
no.
no.
Yeah, no.
But that's what he said. He said he jumped at every one. He tests every one with his dirt bike first.
Oh, always. He
still
comes
does.
out on his bikes. Yeah, he comes out on his bikes.
That's what he said. He still
we were in
does it.
Sweden. His bike comes out. Yeah, we borrowed
So
a Husky
rad.
or whatever for when we were out in Sweden. And
Yeah.
yeah. He just
That's
jumps
a
on his
cool
bike
deal.
and he doesn't.
And he coasts it.
And he doesn't seat bounce. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
So
he's
to know
there,
it,
'cause that way
and he
the
lifts.
cars will do the same thing.
No
exactly.
way.
Anything
Yeah.
under
It's
75
super
miles an
weird.
hour jumps the same.
Wow. He's fucking talented.
He's
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, that guy's-
By
yeah.
the way, his dude Jim Conner. Do you guys watch it yet?
I've seen a lot of the back cut.
I
shots.
always saw the video. I always saw like the screenshot of him over the helicopter.
Please go watch it because
Yeah.
it is
Really?
the coolest Gym Con has ever been out.
Right.
No
I
way.
believe that.
Hands
Because they were
down.
kind of getting repetitive
They
after
were,
a
dude.
while. Like,
Dude, he came in and changed the game. He is so sick. He's such a dope driver. Don't get me wrong, Ken Block's an amazing driver.
Right.
But Travis does not care.
yeah.
He doesn't
Well,
care.
well, it's like when-
he's
well,
all off camera on everything.
Yeah.
It's just out of control.
Well, because he's so talented that he can just bring it back.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's what's gnarly to me is that he can be way out of whack and whatever, and he has the he's the cat with
Dude.
he lands on his feet.
Yeah.
he
Well,
just
I mean,
has
the
that.
best drivers in the world are those rally car drivers. Back.
Oh, yeah.
no, I
they're
agree.
all going.
Dude, through the fours.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! And for him to be able to compete,
Yeah.
at that level at all,
Yes.
says a shit ton.
a ton.
Nothing
Yeah.
like-
Unreal.
He battled for a championship this year.
I heard.
No
yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It was him, Ken Block, and Brandon Semenek. And then at the end, it came down to the last race, last stage,
Yeah.
and Semenek etched out Block by a couple
Insane,
seconds.
dude.
I mean,
An
I think the
entire
only thing
Yeah,
season.
didn't Block get like 5 or 6 wins. Like, didn't he get a lot this year?
Semenuk was always there, just creeping
it's
on
right
him,
there,
and then
yeah.
hit a couple deer, and that was.
The only thing that might be
that sucks.
crazier, or even maybe on the same level, is the Red Bull like airplane races.
Airplane
They
races.
fucking do.
Those are
Those airplane race guys are
It's
nuts.
even close.
Because you just black out most of the time. Like,
well, it's the
you
same
can't even have
test.
you literally you can't. Well, just the G forces alone,
Yeah.
whatever, just to have the physical, ability to do those things.
Unreal.
Is,
I think the possibility of death is equally the same though on both those forms of racing.
Right.
Dude. Like,
Almost because like the plane dudes, if something goes rogue, they just coast down.
Not always.
as long as it's still a plane at that point.
Right. Yeah, but it's first thing you
wrong.
do. First thing you do, and it like anything. Well, it's funny. I was just watching. So Reno Air Race, whatever. That's pylon racing,
Yeah.
whatever. So first thing you grenade anything, whatever. First thing you do is pull back sticks and get as much elevation as you can.
Yeah.
Figure it out, whatever. Then you can come around and figure out your land. So that's the first thing. If something goes wrong,
So wild.
straight
Right.
air.
It's so
But that is so
insane.
opposite of what your brain thinks.
You want to go, get me down.
Yeah, I want to be on the
like,
ground.
It's a whole different meaning of throttle out.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, they just stick back and straight in the air. I watched a friend of mine in a Mustang, whatever, like that, shred a prop.
Oh, my
Go
God.
280 miles an hour, more than that, 300 miles an hour, whatever like that, and the pop just disappears. So now he has no momentum at all. But he's going 300 miles an hour. So it's just like
So
stick
still
back.
momentum going up.
Yeah, he's 700 feet off the ground, there, and it's just like, and he's at, 5,000 feet. And he's like, yeah, well, bro, and again, as calm as day. I blew up a prop. And it's like, yep, coming
It's like
up, whatever
no
like that.
big deal.
Just come back around, land, whatever you're
Like you
doing.
can only be
nuts.
calm in that situation from having to deal with it a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
But there's still that first time you have to deal with it.
Sketchy.
Oh, yeah.
But look, the rally dudes, they're like, you're flat out, and then like ball joint breaks or something, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden,
You're along
everything
for
you
the
know
ride.
about the car is trying to pull you that way. So
Yeah.
you're full lock left, and you're still doing 100 miles an hour with trees touching your mirrors.
Well, and
like those dudes are
when you
loose,
think
man.
about it, though,
Dude,
too,
loose.
almost all forms of racing has that same element, right? And that's why we
100%.
probably
They do.
enjoy it all.
They do.
And it doesn't matter if you're on a damn lawnmower racing, right?
you done
there's
that?
all no, I
it's
haven't.
such a good time.
But they're fast as shit. They're a lot faster than you would
Midwest, of course.
expect.
Midwest boys, yeah. Midwest.
Been on a lawnmower?
Yeah. It's like every Thursday night.
Demo
Down.
derbies, like mud bogs.
So you guys
like, what do you guys want to
cool shit, man.
Well, you know what it
California
is?
sucks.
You know what it is? It's funny. When I first started going to the Midwest, whatever, with USAC, guys wad up their cars and do everything, and they like come to you and they apologize, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we hooked up the track," and da 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 da. California, first guy wads it up, he's looking for suing you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
it's your
Different,
fault.
man.
Oh, you did it. You did
I
this.
thought there was a safer barrier on here.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are wadded up, shits all everything like that, and they're apologizing to me that they took up my time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"It's okay, dude. Don't worry about it. You okay? I'm fine."
You're like, if you really want to help, here's a shovel. Go fill up that hole real quick.
They already are. They're sending their guys out there to do it. And you're like, "No, man, I got it."
So cool, man.
Yeah,
so
it's a different. Yeah, I had my tech guy, whatever. I was like brought in a side by side thing, whatever, and we're doing post tech, and I'd been at raced Lucas and done everything like that, and had to deal with all the tech guys at Lucas, and guy comes in, we're gonna tear a motor down. First thing, his crew chief shows up, 12-pack of beer, sets it right on the hood, sets down the thing, starts tearing the motor down. I look over at Kyle, and I'm like that, and he goes, "Yeah, they do stuff different back here."
And
I'm like,
I'm not
Lucas.
sure I hate it
Yeah,
either.
Lucas wouldn't let you have an open container in the pits.
No.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, wow. He goes, yeah, they do things different back here. I was like, all right.
Well, I'm excited for this weekend.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Stoked, yeah.
Yeah, this here's a lowdown, man. That's really cool, and
Yeah.
I should load on all of racing, not just this
Everything.
weekend's
It
Sand
was
Scramble.
so epic. Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of drivers
Yeah.
on. We've had a lot of so we have a lot of people that have been racing, more enthusiasts and stuff. But like having the back, you guys
Yeah.
on like that,
Yep.
the
The
tech side,
backbone.
USAC. I mean, that's huge. And most people don't really think about the organizations. People think about the drivers, right?
Yep.
And that's it. They don't think about the organizations behind
to
really
get it- to put it
advocating
on.
and making this happen for them.
Yeah.
And there's so much to it.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I had like I said, when I first got on, I was like, I mean, I had a whole different like the racers are, it's like I'm just the bear on the ball, you know what I mean? I'm just juggling things, whatever. It's like everything else that goes around it. It's like, wow, I didn't realize
Insane.
that. It's insane. What it's like, how hard is it to put on a race, man? Get a couple people with some pins and write down a lap time and let it go.
Nope.
Not even close.
Well, so
From
we got
the
a few
marketing
different
side.
plugs, right? So longtravelindustries.com.
Yep.
What's your Instagram handle?
Long Travel Industries as well.
Awesome. So
Yep.
go on there. You have a website as well, right?
got a
you can buy
website.
all your parts,
All my
the
parts.
stuff.
Yep. Yep.
There's probably what's the best way to get a hold of you? Through the website? Is it on Instagram?
Instagram's probably the fastest, easiest, more response, whatever, anything. That's
Okay.
the easiest way, whatever. Website, I have people that run the website kind of for me, so that's two-step process for that.
Red Bull Scramble. Just Google that shit. Red Bull Scramble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's how I
RedBull
found it right
Sand
here.
Scramble.
Yeah, sand scramble,
You
any
make it an
scramble.
ingredient list. A delicious breakfast meal.
Exactly.
That's
That's a cowgirl. That's a cowgirl cafe.
Yeah, exactly. Cowgirl Cafe.
No, man.
It's like a Red Bull.
USAC. Is there people can reach out to USAC, right? USAC.com.
I think it's USAC Racing or USACNation.com.
So you'd want to go there if you're getting into the racing to figure out series, sanctions, rules, stuff like that, or
No, go to individual races, and then it's just kind of what we sanction or not sanction, whatever. So we don't. I don't know if Kevin has a. That's a good question. Whatever, if anything, but like I know that like Ultra 4, right? Like you go to ultra4racing.com, whatever, and you do all your racing stuff, whatever. But I know that's when you go to register. It bumps you into, if you actually looked at the URL on it, whatever, it actually bumps you to a USAC something, whatever.
Is USAC the sanctioning body for King of the Hammers?
Yes, we are.
It is.
Oh, no way.
We're super underground. Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
rad.
cool.
We got to
yeah.
find some of the little, I mean, you've been to Hammers multiple times, whatever. You see what's up there, whatever. It takes a lot to get somebody to want to ensure that.
I can't even imagine. I mean, at least in California. I mean, like the liability, all the people everywhere. Like, it's always the hard part. The liability, the spectators.
Well, that's what. So that's our biggest thing. We spend multiple days. I did anyways. Last year, I spent multiple days up there looking at all the spectator side of the race course. The racing was the racing, but literally, like, what do we got to do to keep spectators off the course?
Yeah.
Like, we need snow fence from here to here. We need signs from here to here. We need marshals here, and then then back to the racing and stuff. Whatever, from green to checkers is kind of what we did. But there was so much more of that because just the size of that thing.
And so spectators, if you love racing and you love spectating, remain a spectator and
Stay
not
off
a
the damn
racer
course.
and get on the track.
Right.
Like, just stay off, use your head, and be safe.
Right. But
Yes.
look how
Mexico's the worst.
well, Hammers used to be. I mean, we used to be able to climb. You could climb on the cars.
That's
you know?
true. Yeah, you're
we
right
had
there.
we had an awesome. We were going to race Hammers one year, whatever, and we had it all figured out, whatever, before BLM came in and changed stuff, whatever. But yeah, we had a whole idea of because you can have
using the crowd to fucking help you.
Well, no, because you can have 7 racers on. You can have 7 racers on record.
Really?
Right?
Okay.
That's you can have up to, so you can do that many co-drivers. Well, back then, you could put your racers anywhere, or whatever. So any gnarly rock section
Nice.
in a side by side, they could be there helping, doing whatever it is, so that we just have them all placed, and then they can leave and go to other places, whatever. So you technically have 2 people in a car and 4 or 5
smart.
people, and
With
and
winches
then the rules
everywhere.
changed.
So
and
they're
BLM
wishing for you right there.
Yeah, exactly. Ramps.
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of crazy things, and we had a pretty good idea to do it. And
You were going to win, for sure.
Oh yeah, and then the rules changed.
Damn rules. Whoever sets those rules sucks.
You know, the worst people are the ones that enforce them.
I know.
Those guys are dicks.
Damn those guys.
Those guys suck.
Damn those guys.
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than disqualifying
I can imagine.
Oh, I'm sure.
a kid because his dad cheats.
That's through like,
It is. You want to take the dad along the side and go, look, you're gonna take I'm gonna take a trophy from that little kid. He's gonna cry, and it's your fault.
Yeah.
I want to beat you with it. I
Yeah.
want to beat you with a trophy. It's not fair.
The
It's
dad
not.
is the dick.
Yeah, the dad's the dick, and it's like
It's
you have
horrible.
to do it. Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
never cheated.
I've had to do it a couple times.
Oh, it's the brutal. I
crazy.
couldn't
I'm
imagine
sure.
what that would feel like. But some
Yeah.
people, some parents are racing
That's
for,
what they do.
for themselves.
That's it.
Not for their kids.
Oh,
That's the sad part.
80% of the people out there, they couldn't do it themselves as a kid, either financially or physically.
Yeah.
And now they're going to live through their kids.
Yep.
Yeah. No, for
We
sure.
call them mini dads.
And
It's like me
everybody
growing up
else-
motocross.
Yeah.
I,
Mini
mean, I
dads.
was a
I know.
mini daddy for a long time. And
Yeah.
I
Oh,
find it
not
so
like-
funny because it's not just in go-karts. It's in all forms of racing that
Oh,
has
anything,
anything
yeah.
mini.
Well,
it's the same parent.
It's any
No,
dad
it's
with
the
unsettled
soccer
business.
dad. Or, yeah. Oh, yes.
It's Pop Warner. I
Yes.
mean, look at the dads that could never play football because, again, either, whatever physicalities, whatever, and they're in there just beating the shit out of their kids. "Arr, you're going to do this. And da-da." It's like, man.
Hey, but you know what? Look at all those trophy car kids and where they're at now, man. There's some pretty epic drivers out
Shelby
there.
Tree, look at all those
Yeah,
guys.
look at Sheldon. Doesn't matter.
Maybe all
Sheldon
those
didn't have to be in a
BDs in
trophy
the
car
back of the
one bit.
RV really worked out.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Sheldon is he's an anomaly.
He's
That
a
guy-
prodigy, man.
Yeah, he can drive a skiddy, he can drive a backhoe, he can drive a truck.
Very good, too.
Yeah, all of them phenomenal.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't matter what it is. Sheldon is awesome.
He is. He's a really good
Well,
kid. Pretty good what he does.
Should we wrap it up, guys?
Wrap
Thank
it up.
you.
Yep, no
Appreciate
problem.
it. We'll see you this weekend.
See you this
Thank
weekend.
you. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you guys for
Anytime you guys want to get back on, let us know.
Yep.
Next time we'll
Guys.
talk all rules.
All rules. Yeah, exactly.
All
So,
you
next
Zach.
time we're going to talk about all the rules that we broke and all the shit that they found wrong with our car.
Okay, exactly. We'll have a recap of Sand Scramble.
There we go. I like the recap.
That
So.
recap would be perfect.
All right.
Bring all the media in. We'll do that.
Hell yeah.
We'll go over all of it.
That'd be awesome. I love
Awesome.
it.
Cool.
That's a wrap. Thanks,
See ya.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Whoa. Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got 'em picking up the pieces.